ASL Season22.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to ASL Season 22 Group C, and what I should say has already been a very unusual ASL so far, Tastosis.
Dude, there's so many upsets. It's insane. Like, a lot of great players didn't make it through, and as you may have seen in the last couple days, like Bisou falling out, Sharp falling out, Action falling out, Shiny Shuttle. The SH players are all getting through. Do we have any SH players today, Tasteless?
I don't know. We're going to have to look at the names in a second, Artosis, but SH names are looking very strong this
very
season.
Strong.
If this trend continues, and we did have kind of an unusual last season as well. I mean, there were certainly some players like Tulbo that got really deep. There was, Leda as well going very far here. Real quick, guys, this is our schedule. This is the schedule for the live matches done in Korean. The way it works is we record ours we record ours 24 hours later, and then it's uploaded immediately after that. So ours come on about 36 hours after these dates. But if you want to go see these matches live, maybe you're living in Korea or you're coming to visit, you can go do that. Although I do believe for group nomination, there are no audiences allowed.
Yeah, I believe you're right about that. And yeah, we'll try to get that out to you as quickly as possible and everything as well. Man, the season has come up really quickly, and look at that. The finals are going to be, what month is that? That's November? Oh, no, it's October. Okay, jeez.
October 7th, man.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, the finals are in January of next year? That's crazy.
Who knows the order of the months by name? I mean, that's crazy. Like,
what am I, Caesar? I'm not concerned with the month order or what names they are.
Why would I care that they're named after those gods? I mean, this is ridiculous. It's the 10th month.
Yeah. The final's going to be held on an ice map, so
yeah,
that'll
ice
be
skating rink.
I wonder how they're going to set that up exactly.
Yeah, me too, actually. I guess, I don't know.
Are they going to actually be on the ice, do you think?
I think they cover the rink up. I think they basically, they have a thing where they put something on there, it seals it up, and then you basically all sit out there. So it's kind of like a stadium or something like that.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you're going to want to wear long pants that day. It's going to be real cold in there, man. That's one thing I've learned moving to Canada is when I go to a hockey game, dude, it's cold as hell in there where they keep the ice. I guess that makes sense.
It's all that ice, Artosis.
Yeah, it is. It sure is. It sounds obvious, but once you feel it, you're like, oh, it's just freezing in here. I'm inside a building. I'm not supposed to be this cold.
Yes, and of course, our favorite slide this season, we got the hoodies on here.
Yeah.
By the way, today could very well be the group of death. We've got two groups that look very strong. Yeah. I personally am the most excited about this group. I cannot wait to see how these guys are going to perform.
Yeah.
And, what if we continue to have upsets here, Artosis?
We absolutely can have an upset today. Like, Speed and Paralyze are perfect people to upset, honestly. They're both so strong. Yeah, taking a look at the group, like Best and Jaedong are guys that you expect round of 8 or better. But Paralyze and Speed are like so legit from their upcoming from their races. They're two of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be an extremely important group here. Remember that there are hardly any Protosses in this ASL. So, if Best and Paralyze don't advance, or if only one advances, I mean, the Protoss numbers are going to be getting smaller and smaller going forward here. And then next week, we have like a ton of Terrans and a ton of Zergs in one Protoss. Guys, interview time. Let's take a listen.
Google Play, making every play a little more rewarding.
Google Play.
Let's say it together one more time. Google Play, making every play a little more rewarding. Google Play. We're here for Group C of the ASL Season 22 round of 24 in partnership with Google Play. Hello, I'm Hyun-kyung. Group C is another one of those groups people are calling a group of death. It's really difficult to predict which players are going to survive today. Before we meet the players, let me quickly remind you about our Drops event. Log into SOOP and watch the official broadcast for a chance to receive an ASL item through random drops during the show. We hope you'll stay with us throughout the matches. Now let's talk with the 4 players competing today. Hello everyone. Hello. Let's start with best. Hello. Hello. For you and probably for a lot of your fans, last season ended in a pretty disappointing way. You've had some time to put that behind you. Do you think today is the day you can finally erase that memory? What do you think? This group ended up being really difficult again, so it definitely won't be easy. But I really want to make it through today and avoid another early exit. Like you said, this season has a lot of dangerous players spread throughout every tier. There really aren't many easy groups. You've also been practicing quite a bit lately with defending champion Soma. Do you feel like that helped get you back into form? I hadn't been playing enough games recently, so I've increased my practice a lot. I think it's helped tremendously. My hands feel pretty good today. Good. It sounds like Best is warmed up and ready to go. Next, let's talk with Paralyze, who is back on the ASL stage after 2 seasons away. Hello, Paralyze. You had to go the distance in the qualifier final before finally securing your spot here. We also heard you were extremely nervous when you realized you had qualified. What was going through your mind at that moment? I was really nervous the first time I qualified too. This time, once I realized I was actually going to make it again, those nerves suddenly came back. I honestly wasn't expecting that much going into the qualifiers. So when I actually made it through, I think the excitement and nerves hit me all at once. I'm sure there were a lot of emotions involved after making it back to the round of 24. And your first opponent today is Best, someone who was already a major senior player when you were active as a pro. You two seem to be talking quite a bit before the interview as well. You've known each other for a long time and have helped each other over the years. How confident are you about facing him today? What about exactly? Your chance in your first game. What do you think? When I was watching the group draw, there were basically 3 players I really hoped I wouldn't get. Bisu, Best, and Shine. They were all guys I had a hard time beating back when we were pros. So I kept thinking, please don't put me with those guys. And somehow I ended up in the group with Best. There's nothing I can do about it now. I'll just have to start by trying to win the first match. That makes the opening match even more interesting. We'll see what Paralyze can show against a player he had so much respect for during their pro days. Now let's talk with Jaedong. Hello. Hello, Jaedong. It seems like the road back to this stage was a little tougher than usual this time. It's been quite a while since we've seen you struggle this much in the qualifiers. How difficult did they feel? I honestly can't remember the last time the qualifiers felt this difficult. It was really tough this time. And then after finally making it through, I looked at my group and realized I had landed in another group of death. So it feels like one challenge after another. I definitely don't think today is going to be easy. Looking at your results over the last 2 seasons though, you've advanced from the round of 24 as the top player in your group both times. Some fans might even say that having to work so hard in the qualifiers gave you a chance to get completely warmed up before today. Do you see it that way? Actually, I was thinking about it recently, and I can barely remember the last time I was eliminated in the round of 24. I think I've made it through almost every time. So I'm going to trust that record and trust myself. Now let's talk with Speed. Hello, Speed. Hello. You've now reached the ASL main event for 6 consecutive seasons. But we heard the qualifiers were stressful this time, and that you barely slept during the 2 days leading up to them. What was making you so nervous? I was already nervous before the qualifiers even started. At this point, I kept thinking, I absolutely cannot fail to qualify. Fortunately, things went my way on the first day, and I managed to get through. You went out in the round of 24 last season, but you've still been a consistent round of 16 player. I found one surprising statistic, though. Your ASL record against Zerg is currently 0 wins and 5 losses. And your first opponent today is Jaedong. So that's a pretty major hurdle sitting right in front of you. How do you feel about that matchup? Honestly, I didn't really want to draw a Zerg. And of all people, I ended up getting Jaedong. But if I can finally overcome that matchup today, I feel like I could make a pretty deep run. So maybe it actually worked out well. All 4 players seem to have some kind of record or obstacle they want to overcome today. And there's another matchup a lot of fans would love to see. Best and Jaedong were in the same group last season, but they never actually ended up playing each other. There's a good chance it could happen today. Best, what do you think about potentially facing Jaedong? We've actually ended up in the same group quite a few times, but somehow we almost never play each other. Whenever we do play, though, the games are usually really fun. So if we meet today, I just want us to have another good game. Your recent online record is extremely close, too. Looking at July and August, Best is just ahead, 5 games to 4. Jaedong, how do you feel about that matchup? Obviously, if we play, I want to win. But no matter who wins between us, it would be nice if both of us ended up advancing. Speed also has quite a bit at stake today. You've had some painful losses against both Jaedong and Best in the past. So there are a few old scores sitting in this group that you could finally settle today. Speed, what are you thinking? I think today I need to be the one who wins and knocks those 2 out. So ideally, I'd like Paralyze and me to be the 2 players who advance. And there's no reason we couldn't see another upset from one of the lower tier players. Paralyze, Shiny advanced to the round of 16 yesterday. Did watching him make it through give you any extra motivation? From what I've seen, most people have basically written me off in this group. So today I'd really like to turn that around and prove them wrong. We'll see whether Paralyze can produce another surprise today. Before we begin the matches, let's hear one final comment from each player. Best? Going out early last time left me with way too much free time. So this season I want to go much further. That is it for me. We'll be looking forward to it. Paralyze? I want to go at least 1 round further than I did last time. I'll prove myself today. Good. Jaedong? I've consistently made it through the round of 24. I'll make sure I win today and do it again. Finally. Speed? I'll show you some good games today. We'll be looking forward to it. Thank you, everyone. That wraps up our Group C pregame interview. We're on the final day of the first week of the ASL Season 22, round of 24, in partnership with Google Play. Which players will claim the final round of 16 spots of the week? Let's get into the games.
Okay, we're ready to get into these matches here. We're going to start this off with a mirror matchup, Best versus Paralyze. And after that, it's on to Jaedong versus Speed.
Yeah, a couple really good matches. Again, I think that Paralyze and Speed are 2 of the players that I would have looked at before the tournament started and say that they were 2 of the more likely players to cause upsets within their groups. But already we've had so many upsets that I would have been wrong, so I'm glad I never did that. Because who knows, maybe Best and Jaedong just get first and second in some given order and crush Paralyze and Speed, and then it's over. It's like, oh, okay, the world is back to normal.
Okay,
but
yeah, this entire season won't be totally weird.
Yeah. I am so unbelievably bullish on Paralyze. If I could buy stock in his future career, I would do it with everything I got. Like, I actually think he's going to be joining the top tier of Protoss. He's just so good, man. I'm really excited to see him play here tonight.
Well, that's very exciting to hear. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing him play here today and seeing what he can actually bring. But I'll tell you, man, this is a tough group. I would have preferred to have him in one of these groups where I think he's got a better chance. So we're taking a look at Best here first. And, you know, we say this every ASL, but one of these ASLs, man, he's got to win it. You know, we've got so many more years of StarCraft to come, but it's crazy to me he hasn't done this yet.
Yeah, so he's the only player that's been in every single ASL. And literally from the start, we were saying that he should probably end up winning one. You know, he's just, Best has been one of the best Protosses in the world since 2007, literally nonstop. That's insane. Like 20 years of being one of the very best, and he still doesn't have a championship.
Yeah, that's wild.
StarCraft's,
Well,
when you think of it that way,
got...
StarCraft's kind of a stupid game, don't you think? Like, the fact that you can be one of the best in the world for 20 years and not have a championship, like, what is that all about?
Yeah, StarCraft is a stupid game. Well, I only think that after every time I sit down and play. So.
Yeah, every night for about 4 hours I think about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, every 5-hour session that I finish when I play the game, I definitely think that this is a stupid game, 100%. Yeah. So we're going to go into this match. Knockout's going to be our map. And, you know, I got to say, I'm... You know, PvP, it can be a volatile matchup. I think Best is extremely solid at this. But let's see what Paralyze does. We were talking about 2-gate being trendy on ladder, much more trendy than it's ever been. And I'm talking about at the highest level of ladder as well. You can find replays of pros doing it. But are we going to cast it? We've said that we've cast just about every kind of StarCraft game imaginable. But for some reason, 2-gate and PvP, you and I mean, if we didn't play StarCraft and only casted it, we would not know it existed. We would not know that anybody's done it.
Yeah.
And when I say 2-gate, I don't mean proxy 2-gate. I mean just 2-gate in your main.
Yeah. It is funny. We were talking about that on Group A. Like, I see it when I play PvP on the ladder, which isn't that often.
Yeah.
So, like, it must be really common based on the fact that when I play, I hit it too.
Yeah, everybody knows it's happening, but at ASL, it does not happen. They always go gateway gas. Fast expand as well has picked up a little bit. Nexus first or Forge expand. I've seen some of that. I don't know if we're going to have any of that here. Doesn't feel like that would be a smart move to bring out in a best of 1. You know, maybe in a best of 5 or 7. So anyways, here we go into this mirror matchup. Best is going to be at the top, Paralyze at the bottom, both players sharing the right side of the map.
All right. I'm very excited to see if Paralyze can kind of deliver. He's been in ASL before. He was on SK Telecom with Best back in the day. And he played in GSL as well. So, I mean, the guy, he does have some stage experience, right? Like, not a lot recently. But he's been playing at like super high levels, showing great games against all the top guys. Yeah, and he used to be known as the Afro Toss, if you guys remember the Afro Toss. I kind of prefer that haircut to what he's got now, to be honest.
Yeah. Right now he's got the haircut of a guy that has a lot of lizards at his home. You know, it's a different look.
Yeah.
Packed here, by the way.
Are
in
we
the
talking
studio? A lot of people excited for.
Are we talking like various lizards? Or are we talking like bearded dragons? What are we thinking?
You know, I'm thinking a lot of heating lamps. You know, for the lizards can't get too cold. You know, he's got a whole little cage of crickets he's feeding them.
Yeah.
He's got a lizard guy haircut. It's fine.
Absolutely. No, it's a type. It's a type of haircut.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see if that haircut can bring great results here against Best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. We are once again not going to have the 2-gate. I feel like I was thinking before the season started, am I finally going to get to cast a 2-gate game?
No.
I can't wait for this because I have all these thoughts on how it works and everything, but I never get to really bring those ideas out because they don't happen in these matches. And here we are once again. It's not happening this time around. We did have, by the way, Paralyze, just do a quick check in that center right location for the double gate, because there is that coin flip build all in that people do over there.
True.
But Paralyze is going to come up here. He's going to scout the top right. And, you know, we should point out, like we did in a previous cast here, these spawns are very close to each other. Pushing is very tempting. And And, you know, they both have their expansions kind of pointed out towards the opponent. Reaver drops are going to be very strong over there as well.
Shouldn't he have immediately turned around with the probe once he saw the tech and mined out the minerals? I feel like on Knockout, this is underutilized. Like, anytime I scout my opponent first, I check what's in their base, then I immediately take the minerals away. Even if I'm not planning on doing something with it, because it puts the fear of something coming that you can't block your ramp against.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. You always need to get in first and see if range has started. I think he had a Zealot out where he probably would not have been able to get the minerals there. But you basically scout. The thing is, they can fake range. They can go air weapons, or they can, you know, and cancel, or they can just go Dragoon range and cancel. It's just about the same thing. But you at least need to see that they spent gas over there, just to make sure there's not going to be a DT rush that hits so fast that it, you know, you'd be hit before your observer would come out, right?
Yeah.
And there's kind of counterplay you can do before that happens there. But no, that's a good point. I honestly, I never give those minerals that much attention on this map, but I know what you're talking about. Those minerals have 0 resources in the patches, which means that the probe is clicked on it and just kind of mines it. The minerals will disappear in a little bit, which would open up the ramp.
Too. Yeah.
But I guess the reality is it's such a small factor if you're both going, you know, Dragoons with range on one gate, right? I mean, even with two Zealots rushing early on, it's not really the size of the ramp that matters, right?
How you use it.
So, yeah, exactly. Paralyze. He is going to go for a fast Nexus despite this close proximity, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, Robo afterwards. Best playing a more standard build here. Well, don't forget on Group A, Bisu actually went for a super fast Nexus like what we see from Paralyze. Had what looked like an advantage, and then still Shuttle came over and got the best of him and ended up winning that game. So the thing is,
I think one of the reasons why we see players do this on this map is you have that low ground area in front of your entrance, which makes it a lot harder to kind of push in with Dragoons. If a couple of Dragoon shots miss, they're going to lose entirely.
Yeah.
So Best is doing a much more neutral build where he's basically, it's a bit of a catch-all. Paralyze will be in a better spot. This, as far as build order interactions, this is better for Paralyze. That doesn't mean that Best can't push and win. You can always kind of push and win, and that may be where he feels he's forced to take this game when the observer gets down there and sees that there's already probes populated at the expansion.
Yeah, his build just doesn't look very aggressive. It kind of looks like catch-all. Like, see, he just started his Nexus. He's zoning a little bit. Here comes the observer. It's
a lot of times you end up with builds like this in PvP because the information comes in slowly.
Yeah.
You know, like that you know, if you didn't get a proper scout, the way that Paralyze got into Best Space and saw that, you sort of play this safety build, right? You won't die to DTs, but you could create a push if you wanted to, or in this case, he scans, he sees when the observer there's a base, he goes, okay, I'm gonna take a Nexus now. He might wait for 2 Reavers and do a push of his own. And there's a real chance this observer is just going to go down. It can't get out. And he's actually got a second one, so he's going to try to come up again and maybe do a contain.
All right, well, Best moving across the map right now, and Paralyze just has a nice straight line of Dragoons, of course, with that little low ground divot. Everything is, like, pretty easy to defend. I feel like every build should lean greedy on this map just because of that little divot. It's crazy how much that changes things, and it's interesting to see it being utilized a bit more. Like, Backrooms has that same type of thing.
Yeah, well, you know, in some matchups, it plays a much bigger role. You know, there's certain matchups where there's a feature on a map, and like you might not even think about it in the matchups that you're playing, but if you're in a different situation, like it's huge. And you know, Dragoons, you know, high ground to low ground, fighting other Dragoons, it's everything, right? That's, you know, you basically never want to take a fight where you're on low ground versus someone who's above you, because there's chance to miss in StarCraft.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense, right? It's definitely a way to play.
For sure.
So this is going to be a very calm PvP. There's not too much going on. We're going to see if the shuttle comes out and if he's going to commit to a push. Now, if he does push, it's going to be a little bit later. He actually was ready for DTs. That's why you get the second observer. You make the first one to send into their base, but you have a second one just in case he like runs around. That's very common to do now. So he's got the shuttle. It's only one Reaver. This is going to be a lot harder for Best to pull off. The architecture around the entrance to the natural is also, oh, okay, he's got to pull away. The architecture around this is also, it just makes it very difficult to kind of push down the ramp and not also get surrounded. And Paralyze has got the right idea. He's going to stay right up here and try to defend.
Well, he drops out his Reaver there. He got a good volley on the Best Reaver, but Best did pick it up. Still getting some very good shots, but the defense here, Paralyze, is absolutely fantastic. Look at that, man. Like, I think you're already kind of seeing what I've been talking about with Paralyze. He is incredibly strong. Great position there. Solid micro and execution. Just feels like he's kind of doing the right thing.
Okay, so he picks up the second Reaver. It's going to be hard to get anything done. You can't really blame any Protoss for trying in this moment, like especially when you're behind. It's like, well, let's see if we can get like a good fight. Paralyze is very much on top of deflecting the shuttle here. We don't see shuttle speed done just yet. We don't know. And by the way, it's super common now to get Reaver damage before speed. I've seen this a lot.
Really?
Which is interesting. And it seems like a lot of times that's just to try to basically break the other player in a Reaver versus Reaver. Because if you're both fighting and your Reavers, usually they're the last to die if you're both good, right? You're not going to have your Reavers sticking in the front. The damage just kind of accumulates and you end up ahead and you win that way.
And look at Paralyze already getting really good damage right there. He kills the 2 Dragoons, kills some probes, forces lost mining time, and goes home. Really good execution from him so far. I love the spread of his pylons as well. If you look at the bottom left, he's just got really good vision going out onto the map, watching for potential Reaver drops. It feels like, you know, he had kind of a similar build to what Bisu had in his group, but honestly, it looks like he's just playing it better than Bisu did. Like, he's just playing a very solid game here.
Okay, he's going to come in now. Shuttle speed, ready to go. This is an ambitious move because the main is really far away. There's a lot of time to respond, and when you get deep into the main like this, you know, you have to be careful because if you lose that shuttle and Reaver, you basically lose the game, and now he's in a really tough spot. He's going to basically stay back here and try to take the fight. Ooh. This is really tricky. Oh my God, there's also a drop over here. I did not see what he actually hit.
Ooh!
Oh my God.
Wow! Best with some really good hits in here. His shuttle must have
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Oh my God,
he's going to go up here.
I can't believe
this. Can this get through? Are there going to be Dragoons above this?
Oh! That was an insane scare. He got so many probes. I think he might have hit the Reaver also.
This is like a bad action movie. I can't believe he actually got all the way through there. He killed Dragoons, and then he looped all the way up there and got some great shots off in the natural. It's going to merge back up over here.
Oh, man. It's like, yeah, one of those sea action movies with Dolph Lundgren right now.
Yeah. This is wild. So he's got 2 shuttles now. Sometimes the play is to go up into the main. I can't believe he's going to try to drop over there. Yeah, sometimes you want to just go into the main. We didn't get to check if he actually has the damage upgrade. Probes are not being made for either side, so they're both kind of locked in. I think Paralyze should be lower. He definitely took some losses over there. So a lot of times you'll set up to make it look like a push, and then if you see that they're really sitting there with everything, then you fly into the main. And 4 Reavers is like really hard to kill in a main unless you send all your Dragoons back there.
Is that what he has in the shuttles, is 4 Reavers?
3 or 4, I believe.
That's crazy, yeah. Hard to micro, though, for sure. I feel like every time I see someone try to use 4 Reavers, like 2 of them will die kind of quick, and then the other 2 will be microed really well. Yeah,
it's like trying to micro Mutalisks when you have 2 groups of them.
Yeah.
It's like just not, it's really, there's too much that you have to do with juggling the Reavers.
Best takes his 3rd base here and looks like he wants to push in a little bit. I mean, with this many Reavers, he's going to just blow up Dragoons so quickly.
Yeah. And you can see Paralyze kind of pulling away a little bit. You know, you can really take advantage of the way that this, you know, is all set up, this platform over here. Oh my God, is he going to commit here?
Oh.
Now, here's the thing. The Dragoons, it becomes this kind of meat grinder trying to move the Dragoons through this area. So, I mean, you can see just how many losses he's suffering, and he's going to get out. Oh my God. He killed so many Dragoons back there. And so what Best is doing perfectly is he's taking advantage of these narrow areas where it's just hard to actually get your Dragoons through. And when you get like 2 or 3 or 4 Reavers there, they're one-shotting Dragoons. The Dragoon might get one shot off before it gets blown up, and then it's time for the next group to come in there.
Ooh, almost loses his shuttle right there. It's really amazing to watch Best from a slightly inferior position just do every single tactic and army movement really well and start to get ahead of Paralyze throughout this game, because it really felt like Paralyze did open better, and then Best is just like, no, I know how to do this. And he's flying all over the place, getting damage, utilizing his Reavers correctly. But Paralyze comes out, catches some of this army, but the Reavers flanking him here. Oh man, Paralyze loses a lot of his army there as well.
Yeah, oh my God, he can fit these over here. He's going to target these Dragoons on the side here. Gets 2.
Holding my breath every time.
Yeah, you know, well, it's one of the things that makes PvP a beautiful matchup is like, to what you were saying earlier, Tastosis, is like, you can get behind, but then you do, you know, the Shuttle Reaver is such a mechanical skill. And it's very different from, like, you know, in mirror matchups, like you can have the best Muta Micro in the world, but when it's Muta versus Muta, it's kind of a weird interaction.
Yeah.
Shuttle Reaver, I mean, you can take some crazy fights PvP and squeeze out more damage, and that's exactly what Best has done here.
Yeah, Best picks off a shuttle there as well. He keeps looking for places to dive in with the shuttles. He's so active this game. Almost the entire game is being played on Paralyze's side of the map. But the funny thing about Paralyze is one of the most defensive Protoss players, and I would say amongst top Protoss players, he's probably the most defensive. He oftentimes sits back, just kind of optimizes his build well, you know, does what he needs to do, but Best is showing just how strong he is at breaking through positions.
Yeah, he's got the Reavers in a really good angle over here. It's very hard to touch these. Now, Paralyze has his own Reavers over here in the back, but there's no shuttle to pick them up, and so you can kind of force your way in there and take them out. Meanwhile, these Reavers in the back are slowly moving up. He's got a shuttle with the Reaver here now. If he can keep advancing here, he can eventually force him to cancel the Nexus, and losing that is going to put Paralyze into a position where he probably can't recover from. Notice how Best is basically taking like about 1 to 2 Dragoons and clicking on the shuttle, and then letting everything else fight. And, you know, once the shuttle's picked off, it's just too difficult to keep this alive. He's going to come in again. Nice control. He's basically, oh my God, he's so good.
Yeah, the micro here is very precise. 19 kills, 12 kills, and that's like mostly Dragoons, I think. He's killed so much, and now Best is up 25 supply. He has his third base mining for a really long time now. I just don't think Paralyze has anything left in him.
I think this is basically it, especially when this next wave comes up here. Right now, it looks like Paralyze, it's very close, but you can see when these reinforcements come down here, it's going to be overwhelming. And I think Paralyze had a great opener, but, you know, kind of the theme of the round of 24 and the PvPs we cast is that it really does come down to, you know, shuttle Reaver control that wins you the game. And that was just insane when he got stuck inside the main. A lot of times that's how you lose a PvP. Is you go for damage, killing probes, and you realize, I can't get out of here. Now, he positioned so well behind the minerals, he was able to basically identify there's not all the Dragoons. There's like 4 or 6 or something. And actually, if I can just kind of stay in a space where it's a little bit boxy, it's hard for the Dragoons to kind of all get to the same location and attack, he can pick them off of the Reavers. And then he pulled through the natural, took some shots there, and then merged back up with the rest of the army for a push.
Yeah, that was super well done by Best. You can really see the differences in level. And I'm not joking, Paralyze is really, really strong, so that just impresses me even more for Best. Either way, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, Jaedong versus Speed.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
구글 플레이와 함께하는 ASL 시즌 22
What's up, everybody? We're
24강
back.
C조
We're ready
경기
to go
함께하고
into game
계십니다.
number 2
앞서
here.
펼쳐졌던
Wrapping up
오늘의
that
첫 번째
PvP where
경기에서는
Best came out on
우재욱
top
선수가
versus
초반에
Paralyze.
불리했던 상황을
That was a great game.
역전시키면서
I really,
승리를
really
거두고
enjoyed that.
본전
Watching
3차전으로
Best kind of
향했습니다.
just show
자,
us
이어지는
how it's
경기
done
만나보시기에
at the
앞서서
absolute
여러분들을
top
위해
level.
준비된
I
이벤트를
think Paralyze
안내해드리겠습니다.
actually played really well. This didn't feel like some of the
자,
other
먼저
games that we've
시즌
seen in
22
ASL so
유니폼
far this
한정
season,
판매가
where there's like
24강
an
기간 동안
obvious
이어지고
flub where it's like,
있습니다.
well, why did
이번
you do that?
시즌에는 온라인과
You know,
오프라인
I
판매가
didn't feel like there
병행되고
was that
있는데요.
moment for Paralyze. I just
온라인에서는
feel like Best
마킹이 없는
kind of
기본
outplayed him,
버전을
but
비롯해서
that he played
시즌
well.
22 본선 진출자
So,
아이디
so
마킹,
far, so good.
이유 마킹의 세 가지
Yeah, I mean,
버전을
I think
선택하실
he,
수 있고요. 우승자 별
Paralyze
마킹의
did a
경우에는 이번
great
시즌
job,
진출자 아이디를 선택하실 시에만
with the opening,
가능하다는 점
you know, but
참고해 주시기 바랍니다.
in
자, 발빠르게
PvP, the
ASL
opening
유니폼을
is
소장하고 싶어
important,
하시는
but
팬
if the
여러분을
opening
위해
doesn't
준비된
close the game
오프라인
out, I
현장
think there's
판매
always
역시
the chance
진행되고
to come back,
있습니다.
especially with Reaver
24강
Tech.
1, 2주차 경기가
I think if you go
펼쳐지는
DT
당일
Tech,
오후
it's a little bit
6시부터
trickier
40분 동안 마킹이 없는
to
기본형을
make more happen unless you can, like, I don't know, maybe do like a crazy DT drop in their main and kill the
자, 구매를
Nexus,
원하시는
or, you know, you
분들께서는
get Storm and do Storm drops, but
스캔해 주시고요. 자세한 사항은 ASL
when it
공식
comes to
방송국의
Reavers,
공지
especially when you get
사항을
whether
참고해
it's
주시기
scarab
바랍니다.
damage or shuttle speed,
자,
a couple of
온라인으로
good Reaver
시청해주고
shots can
계시는
totally
시청자
change the
여러분들을
game.
위해 준비된
Yeah.
승부 예측 이벤트까지
And we definitely did
살펴드리겠습니다.
see, well, I guess it was more than a couple in that game. Best was having his
오늘의
Reavers
1,
all
2위
over the
진출자를
place.
맞춰주시면
But
되겠습니다.
really superbly
획득한
done.
재물 통해서
I think probably
다양한
the favorite
경품을
of this
응모하실 수
group, even with
있으니까요.
Jaedong in
승부
it.
예측 이벤트 많은
And our
참여
next match is going to
부탁드리겠습니다.
be Speed against
드롭스
Jaedong,
이벤트도 계속해서
which
진행되고 있습니다.
I think it's Jaedong
로그인하신
favored.
후에 ASL
I'm not
공식
too
방송으로
afraid of
시청해주시면
Jaedong losing to
랜덤
Speed,
드롭스
but
추첨을
Speed
통해서
plays
ASL
very
상품기 선물로
decisively.
드리고 있습니다.
Like he'll
많은
have
시청
something in
부탁드립니다.
his mind, and he'll play it really,
자,
really
이어지는 오늘의
aggressively
두
and
번째
try to bring the
경기는
game to a
이재동
head.
선수와
It's kind
이영웅
of how
선수가
Speed does
준비하고
things.
있습니다. 두 선수의 대결
But I
지금
feel
바로
like that's a
함께하시죠.
style that isn't too hard for Jaedong. I feel like Jaedong is very good against Terrans that aren't light right now.
Yeah, I think this should be a fun one. I think Jaedong should take this. Speed could pull it off, though. Don't count Speed out yet. Right? Is that, you know, you
For sure.
and someone's got to be losing these, right?
Well-
we have versus Protoss 25%.
Here's one of them. Yeah, one of the guys really losing a lot. 0-5 against Surge so far in ASL.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. These guys are playing against the very best. There are players that fill in the lower levels of ASL, and Speed is one of those. He doesn't make it in every season, but he's been pretty stable lately. I think he's only missed one of the last 5 or 6 seasons. So the guy's playing well, and you know, I think he's still getting a lot better.
This is going to be so fun. We're going to go to knockout again here for match number 2. Jaedong versus Speed. Of course, this is a best of 1. And we're ready to go, guys. Let's see what happens here with these two. Okay, we've got Speed here in the top left and Jaedong in the top right. If you haven't already, we want to encourage you to consider signing up for our Patreon. You can go to the website or you can download the Patreon app. But if you want to support us and you can sign up for a year, that goes a long way to help us in putting this together. So consider it if you haven't already. We love doing this for you guys.
Yeah, and that's patreon.com/ASL English. Big thanks to everyone who has supported already as well. And
so we've got both players here at the top. And, you know, we should point out for a little bit here, like the last couple of seasons, Jaedong has looked incredible.
Yeah.
He's been very public about really wanting to play well, because there were some seasons where honestly he didn't look that great, right? And, you know, sometimes, you know, fans, hardcore fans can be a little bit mean. Like, I had higher expectations of you, or why can't you play like you were before? Are you not practicing enough? I think some of it, honestly, can be a little bit toxic. But, you know, Jaedong was very public about, like, you know, I'm really committed to trying to, oh, nice, from California, welcome. You know, he's really committed to trying to improve and trying to do well. And the last couple ASLs, he looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat Flash when Flash went command center first.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like when Flash goes command center first and gets away with it, like I think no one in the world is supposed to win.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those build order advantages, right?
Yeah.
And Jaedong beat him in a straight up game.
Yeah.
Actually took Flash down. It was wild. Unfortunately, you know, as we all know, he did not end up going to the finals or winning ASL.
Yeah.
This last season, but you know, that hunger is there. And I think, you know, he's shown that he's just an extremely strong player. And, you know, it's sad Bisu's been eliminated and, you know, he's from that era, right? And I think Bisu's issue is he's had some poor decision-making.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. He does not seem to be quite as flawless as some of these other guys here, but I'm looking forward to seeing if Jaedong can go deep in this ASL again. And, you know, there's, you know, no Flash here, right?
Yeah, well, Flash certainly didn't stop him last time. And in fact, it showed the stat right at the beginning, and it kind of shocked me. I had no idea. Jaedong has the second highest win rate in ASL for Zerg vs. Terran, only Solky above him, which of course we knew Solky would be number one on that. He's just like invincible. But that's kind of crazy. And when you think about it, really, Light is the only one that's performing super well against Jaedong. And it's just a completely stylistic thing that Light is exactly the style that Jaedong has a hard time with, and he's the best at that style as well. So
right, yeah,
that's
Light is definitely the anti-Jaedong here.
100%.
But you know, in a tournament, especially in the round of 24, you can't really worry about individual players, right? Because you got to see how the whole bracket forms. You know, sometimes you'll be in a bracket and you think, okay, I'm in such a safer position here because like these guys could end up, you know, wiping each other out, and then I'll figure out who survives that and take them on here. So yeah, this game we've got the SCV scouting here. He sees this is a 2-hatch layer build. Over on Terran's side of the map, he's gone for a very, very quick expand. There are a lot of different branches in this build for Terran that you can play.
Yeah, and he's doing the most modern one right now, which is the fast factory after the expand. So basically, you do the expansion, you make it look like it's a bio build, but you throw up a factory in the main base. Like I think Jaedong will probably sniff this out and defend against it. Like eventually you start running up to the wall and you might notice things like the barracks isn't building as many Marines as it should, because generally you stop around 5 or 6 Marines with this build. And this will probably, we can't say for sure, but it will probably be Vulture Valkyrie, which is like kind of the new kid on the block for Terran vs. Zerg builds, where you get speed vultures and you get Valkyries out, and that kind of deals with everything. And it's pretty darn strong.
This is going to be interesting to see, you know, how this works out. I'm not super familiar with this style, but yeah, I love it. So he's going to throw down that starport here. He is back to making some Marines. it does seem like, you know, the one way the Zerg can identify that this isn't mass Marines is confirming that entrance barracks is not building. I wonder, is it ever worth it to float that barracks into your main so that they don't have that intel to see? Because, you know, one of the things that happens in TVZ when you go up to a couple more barracks is you eventually do want that barracks in as part of your wall, and you want to lift that up and put it in the main because it makes the whole macro cycle a little bit easier to do.
It certainly does, but like if you lifted it now, you need it for anti-speedling. And yeah, if you lifted it now, that would actually be like the most suspicious thing, because you would want like steady production at this moment before mutas are out.
I see.
So yeah, I think, yeah, kind of have to leave it there. I've seen him start and cancel Marines a few times, but he actually made even a 7th Marine. So he's actually selling it reasonably well. I could see Jaedong thinking like, oh, maybe this is like a +1 build, like a quick +1. But yeah, the Vulture's going to come out, and this is going to tell Jaedong. And in fact, Jaedong will have to fly the mutas back because he doesn't have the right SimCity to stop speed Vultures right now.
So he's got the 2 Vultures out, and Zerg's going to have to be careful about this because, you know, if you let those, oh, the Overlord's going to see it. Here we go. So he knows.
Yeah.
If you could keep those hidden, you can punish so hard when the mutas hit you, especially if is there a sunken colony at the entrance?
There is one now. There is one now, but basically
okay.
with this build, part of it is your Vultures come out and the mutas have to stay back because Zerg won't be set up correctly SimCity wise to just fully block the Vultures. So they kind of have to babysit a little bit so the Vultures don't run in and kill everything. Now, here comes Jaedong. He has a couple Scourge. He's going to really try hard to get this Valkyrie. Like, if you can get the first Valkyrie, that's huge. And he sees a barracks being made. That's actually really, really big because you can go mech from this or you can go bio. And in fact, this is like, I believe one of the games that Light beat Jaedong with was this build into bio. I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, that was one of the builds. So it's definitely something Jaedong is familiar with.
Now, he sees the barracks. Is there any chance he could use that as this like red herring in the build and then just switch into mech?
Yeah. He could absolutely just go mech from here. Like, if he can keep the mutas out and just be like, nah, screw it. We'll go into, you know, I'll just make a bunch of Vultures and go into the other things. But Jaedong keeps checking. Like, if he had canceled and now Jaedong, oh my God, he got both the Valkyries. That's insane. That's insane.
Oh,
dude.
You know, I gotta say, it does seem to me that, and I know that the Valkyrie, it's a strong unit. Like, the missiles do a lot of damage. Control-wise, it's just above the Arbiter as far as things that are hard to move around.
Yeah.
Like, it is actually, like, I have, you know, opened up the game and built a Valkyrie and tried to move it around myself, and I'm always stunned at, like, just, you know, compared to, like, let's say, like an Archon.
Yeah.
Or something that's, like, hyper responsive and you can make do anything. Man, it is just a clunky unit, but you can see compared to a Mutalisk here. I hate it when we zoom in too much on the Zerglings and we get to see that they have like manicured human hands.
Yeah, I do too.
This just bothers me so much. Like,
yeah, it is bad. The bad graphics were good in a way.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Yeah, Valkyries are hard to use.
They're just hard to control. Like, it's so painful because they are the counter to the Mutalisks. But if you can get them in a fight like where the Scourge come in, they cannot make U-turns. They don't pick up speed very quickly. It's crazy. I don't know if there's a way to work that out to get better control or not, but I mean, even Flash, we see him drop Valkyries all the time.
Yeah. The very best Valkyrie users are really good. Like, there's a slide you can do to go away from what you're attacking. It's a little bit hard to pull off, and it has to be at the right angle. But that does exist. This particular game, it's really sad that he lost the first two Valkyries, because normally with this build, you stop on 3 Valkyries. 3 is like just the right number where mutas get absolutely destroyed. But the fact that he had to make 2 more kind of slows everything down in the build, unfortunately. I wonder what speed will do from here, because most people from here go like like a few science vessels, and then it's like a decision, okay, do we go into mech from here, or do we stay on bio? Do we want to go drop ships and get super aggro? I'm not really sure what Speed is going to want to do.
Yeah, he's going to move out now. Now, remember, he has to rely on scans because there is no vessel with this. Oh, my God. Nice control. He actually pulls this away. Again, those missiles are so punishing. The spread of damage is crazy. The Defiler Mound is coming along. Like all TVZs, this all comes down to whether or not the Zerg gets the consume upgrade in time. This is, I think, probably the most important upgrade maybe in all the matchups in StarCraft. I know that's weird to say. Maybe Psystorm's up there with that. But, you know, once Consume's done, you can make endless Dark Swarms. And the Terran basically can't kill you with a push.
Yeah.
And so we're getting closer and closer to that moment. It's, you know, the Zerg on the 3 bases. The tension's built up outside of these 2 here. Does not seem like the Terran's going to be able to break the Zerg, but there is a dropship here. So that is, you know, one way to play this.
And Speed is showing us now he's going to transition out of the bio. He's got a drop ship to go with his Valkyries. I think Jaedong is already defending it pretty well. He's got some Scourge and Lings in his base. The Mute is going to come up here and find that 3rd base being made. But yeah, it's going to be a transition into mech. And I feel like Jaedong is really good against mech with Zerg. He does a very good job against it. So I'm not sure what Speed is going to be able to get done, because I don't think the dropship's going to do anything. I would actually prefer him to drop bottom right and just delay the 4th base. If he can delay the 4th base, get 4 base of his own up with mech, and really get a lot of mines on the map, I feel like, okay, we're getting into a good spot. But if he attacks the most heavily defended position here while trying to expand and adding factories, that does not seem like a winning strategy.
There's no way you will... I mean, no, you're not going to go... This is insane. He's going to fly right over.
Yeah, I don't know about this, man.
I don't know what I'm looking at, boys. This is not gonna work. I can't believe he scanned and went in there.
Yeah, I guess he got a few drones there, but he's gonna lose basically everything. Oh, he got the pool. I mean, those are like okay-ish kills, but he loses Valkyries. Like, I don't feel like he did enough with that, you know? Like, Jaedong is just taking a 4th. There's no like, Jaedong knows that he won't be damaged again for a very long time. So Jaedong can do anything from here.
Well, you know, the dropships, they take so, you know, you're not making science vessels, right? You're not making Valkyries. I don't know why he committed to that. I think it would have almost been better to pull back, make 2 more dropships, and then take that main, like you were saying. It was like way too... deterministic what he did. I mean, he just was like, I am going to drop the main. And he even scans and sees, like, you know, lurkers burrowed, Lings waiting, Defilers ready to go, and he's like, all right, we're going to the back.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It was a weird type of choice. He just had it stuck in his brain, I think, like you said. And now he's sitting here on 3 base against a 4 base Zerg that knows that he can't attack. Like, all Speed can do right now is lay mines, maybe like a drop ship with vultures in it or something. But there's not like any sort of good way for him to keep actual pressure. Like, see, he's running past a few vultures. Okay, you get a few drones, but none of this is, well, maybe if he gets up here and gets all these drones too. Maybe that does change things slightly, but I honestly don't think it changes it quite enough. Like, you want to slow Zerg down while getting your stuff going, and he didn't really slow Jaedong down.
Yeah, well, Jaedong's now going to this this Ultralisk phase here, where, you know, he's got 4 gases. Terran, it's funny, they are on, this is going to be full on mech here. Terran is basically getting to explode on the map. You know, you get that 3rd base up, you're going to get the 4th. And then you're going to send these vultures out and try to lay mines everywhere. But if you don't properly cover these areas with mines, the Ultralisks can just rip through your position.
Yeah.
And these are super fun games to follow. You know, it gets really complicated on both sides. So the Zerg, you know, in some ways they're done with expanding. That doesn't mean they won't take more bases. By the way, I did not understand, Tastosis, that you can just like run vultures like basically over lurkers and not lose them. This is like, I did not understand this, but I've seen it happened once, and I think you were talking. I kind of wanted to mention something, but now that I'm seeing this, I'm like, oh, can you just like, is this like a thing? You can just like right click through the lurkers and somehow the spikes don't quite connect because you're like,
yeah, some of them
over.
It depends on like angles
like,
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the spikes are popping up behind the vulture or something, even though they're attacking the vulture itself. It's like the vulture's faster, or like, I don't know what is going on here. It like goes over the lurker shot.
Yeah, so the actual spines have to connect, right? And the vulture is so fast. Like, I'm sure everyone's seen those clips of Boxer killing a lurker with one marine, or played those micro maps where you do that. It's like the spines just sometimes don't connect. So like if there's a bunch of lurkers, if you try to run past, oftentimes you'll get past with some damage on your vultures for sure.
Looks like Speed's going to take the bottom left main as well. And he should be making sure that he's planting a lot of mines with these vultures before he sends them in, because that's so much value to have. You know, especially if like these mines like hit an Ultralisk and kill it. It's crazy. And you want to really stuff the mines and make that really filled up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, one link can come through here and drag through a lot. So you want to have the mines almost in the way of everything.
I'm getting the feeling right now that we might see Jaedong just go drops with these ultras. I don't know if he's going to try to clear all the minefields or not. Okay, he starts running through them anyways. Also, another side thing is lurkers are medium units, so vultures actually do reasonable damage against them. So sometimes when there's few lurkers, you should actually scan instead of run over and just kill them. But anyways, the vultures get in there, and a bunch of mines hit those Ultralisks. I imagine that Jaedong almost has drop stun for his overlords. So I don't think that this push is going to be able to do too much to Jaedong, who's at higher supply, by the way.
Yeah, you can see the tanks are going to be able to just wipe that out. Another great vulture drop over here. I got to say, it's starting to get kind of annoying here for the Zerg. The drones are going to be evacuated. The Lings are going to come down here. He's going to plant some more mines over there. And then there's these drops happening up here into the main. You could be right, Artosis, about the drops with the Ultralisks. Like, I think there is a world where, even though it seems like it's so hard to ever reach or get to Terran, if you could just drop the main and disrupt the factory production and get a couple of Dark Swarms there, a couple of, groups of Cracklings over there and Ultras, you could shred that so quickly.
That's what we're going to be seeing here. Like, he's getting his drops going. In fact, Speed flew over it with the dropship, so it seems like he knows. He has something in between his base and Jaedong's base. I don't know what that is. But, like, if you can intercept the first drop, this game is very winnable. Look at the amount of damage he's still getting with these vultures. It's kind of crazy, actually. But he needs to intercept this drop. He can't, if this drop gets off in, like, an expansion or especially the main base, the cleanup time is just too much. Jaedong will just endlessly drop you for the rest of the game.
Oh my God, the eraser move over here is so good. He just killed every single drone. He's going to go now into the main.
Oh my God.
Jaedong might have lost too many drones in this last little bit. Oh my God, these lurkers are insane.
The amount of damage they're dealing to each other is absurd. Dude, 12 kills, 20 kills. What? That was almost Jaedong's whole economy. Insane.
This is insane. And the army supplies is massive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing. Okay, he's going to drop on top of this.
Okay, I mean, that's a good amount of tank kills. That is a good amount of tank kills. But Jaedong...
keep in mind, the vultures do a lot of damage to ultras.
No. They don't do a lot to ultras. They do a lot to lurkers.
Oh, okay.
The mines do a lot to the ultras.
Well, guys, I gotta go.
No,
I'll see you for Group D. I'm out of here.
Yeah, the vultures like tickle the ultras basically, but yeah, it's like you actually can murder lurkers with them. It's kind of funny, and lings, of course, like light units, like small and medium units basically is what vultures are really good against. It's the big ones that we have a problem.
I didn't realize they were actually that terrible against ultras. I guess I see vultures clean up lings, and eventually the ultras dies anyways, and maybe I kind of imagine that they were actually quite strong versus that. But I guess the reality is, like, the mines they plant are good versus that.
Yeah,
if they can soak damage and the tanks can shoot at them, that's also good. By the way, in this game, it does seem like Jaedong positionally is getting pretty comfortable here. Now, he's going to lose a lot of drones again here. This is a problem. But Jaedong now is on, I think, 6 bases. You know, and the reality is, you know, Speed really did need to fill in that bottom left main. One of the ways that you extend a game to a position where, you know, the Zergs, excuse me, the Terrans are too big to fail is you just have like the whole bottom left side of the map and you've got mines everywhere and you have tanks that are sieged up and spread out. But right now, Terrans kind of just stuck on their quadrant.
Like right now, looking at this game, Jaedong has lost so many workers that it's slowed him down so immensely. He hasn't gotten another drop off. Like normally what happens is Terran tries to keep good tempo with their mech. Like you see all this harassment and all that he's been doing. And then Zerg tries to take it back with drops where they get a drop and then it takes a long time to clear out. And then hopefully they have another drop. Kind of like recalls. You know how like you get a recall off and if Terran's slow cleaning up, you have another recall ready to go? Like that type that type of idea is really, really good against mech. But Jaedong has been so slowed down here by losing all those drones. It looks like he's starting to get ready to try it again. I'm surprised that Speed hasn't attacked because you can't win a prolonged half map game. That's like not a winning position for Terran. You want to like make your units and get across the map. And he's sitting there.
He's going to drop in the main. I don't think there's enough covering this. I mean, 3 tanks is probably not going to be anything that's going to be worth it. He's going to come in now. He's got a lot of stuff coming up here to try to help fight and defend. I love the Scourge coming over here to connect on these vessels. But, you know, if Jaedong can basically keep doing stuff like this over and over, there's going to be no way to control this bottom left location. And I mean, Jaedong's basically going untouched on his side of the map other than these like kamikaze attacks, you know, with the vultures going in there where you basically suicide those in and try to get as much damage as possible. Now we've got the huge push coming from Speed.
Yeah, this is going to be some place that you want to use some defilers. Like if he has 0 defilers and he just runs units in, Speed has some potential, I guess, but that's a lot of units from Jaedong. Look at the amount of lings coming in here. Oh my God. Just crazy. But yeah. Oh, there it is. He did it. It's a lurker under Dark Storm. Oh, and a nice plague as well.
Yeah, nicely done.
Oh, a radiate.
He's thinned out that army from Speed here. Is Speed going to continue to try to commit? And if he does, is he going to basically just be feeding into this position here? More Lings and Ultras are going to come down. They're going to have to deal with the mines first. And they're basically wiped out. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. A couple more units are going to come in here and do some more damage.
And now the 3 meters come in, and the last 3 meters kill the last 4 Marines to just end that early portion of the game. This group of units going to run down and probably force a lift there. Kind of a crazy and super messy game between these two.
Yeah, it is super messy. I do feel like Speed is kind of putting himself in a position that's going to be very hard to recover from. I mean, he's fighting and doing this tug of war in the middle of the map pretty well, but, you know, the tank count's getting so low. And, you know, the bottom left 2 expansions, they just don't look very safe.
Yeah.
Right? I think if you know, the next push that Speed would, if let's say he tries to push across the middle of the map, that's going to get wiped out immediately. And then I think Jaedong is going to have the bandwidth to start focusing on this bottom left location.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jaedong is basically taking over map control. There's almost no mines in the center. Yeah, Speed, you can tell by the look on his face, he knows he's dead. And you can tell by Jaedong's look that he knows that this game is his at this point. There's really not a way for him to end up losing. He's mining so much. He's right on top of one of these last really important bases for Speed. And endless units starting to come out from across the map.
Yeah, and I think this next wave is going to come through here and basically chop up this position. And then, you know, you're going to be a Terran on 4 bases again, and a 5th base is going to be probably impossible. GG.
All right. So Jaedong advances to that winner match. Speed going to fall down to play Paralyze. I thought Speed put out a pretty good game. Like, that was pretty fun. I do think he really messed up with that double dropship in the top right. Even though he got the spawning pool, That just didn't seem like the right thing to do with those units. I feel like he could have really done a lot more just delaying Jaedong rather than trying to get damage in the most defended area.
Jaedong always looking like a killer, man.
Yeah.
Never looking too joyous when he wins. He's just ready to go on to the next part of the mission. I can't wait for this next one, Artosis. We're going to have Jaedong versus Best.
Ooh. That's going to be very nice to see. Like, those are two players of, like, the same exact level, I feel like. I really don't know who I would favor there.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Jaedong, but,
yeah.
you know, Best is so good. Guys, we're going to go to a break. Coming up next, a PVZ you do not want to miss.
Let's make a toast for the dream. Got it out the mud, now we living like a king. Say la 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 la. Nobody go harder than my team. Make a toast for the dream. Started from the bottom, now she living like a queen. Yeah. We gon' drink, we gon' pour, we gon' dance up the floor. We gon' smoke, we gon' roll up. Baby, hold up, hold up, hold up. I'm the man when I roll up. If I'm there, they gon' show up. Game on lock, yeah, soda. Watch me glow. Got a cup up in my hand and they screaming my name. Cause a party ain't a party till the Cowboys came. We the legends of the night. Turning up the city to the sunshine bright. If you see me in the building, then them girls is too. She gon' back it up to the sky time blue. We the legends of the night. Pouring up this whiskey till the sunshine bright. Yeah.
You are the best mistake.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
스타의 역사를 이어나가는 자부심. 저그 프로토스 테란 가장 많은 14명. 타티오가요 가장 많이 올라갔어요.
그 정서를 깨버렸습니다. 노력을 통해서
15년 만에 다시 한번 대결을 펼치게 됩니다. 찍어 누르는 그 힘을 보여주는 합니까? 진짜 세계 첫 대급 경기. 말도 안 되는 승부. 명장면이 계속. 대박의 결승전.
Get the popcorn. It's time. Jaedong versus Best. This is going to be so good. I'm so excited to cast this Tastosis.
And it's going to be on Colorless Fate. That snow map with the eggs on it. I can't wait.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I kind of, honestly, I kind of forgot about this map. I haven't been thinking about this map as much. But this is going to be a fun one. I've watched a decent amount of games the pros have played on this match, on this map, excuse me, and they can be pretty dramatic.
Yeah, I actually saw Best try a Corsair Reaver on this map recently. I don't think he's going to go for that, but I just wanted to mention that because it was kind of weird and it was specifically Best. But yeah, I don't really know how this map's going to end up in ZVP so far.
Okay, so we've got Jaedong here on the right and Best here on the left. And yeah, let's see what kind of game we're going to get here on Colorless Fate. This is a kind of windy map. A lot of kind of narrow areas to have fights on.
Yeah, it's like it's some of the hardest pathing I've ever had to deal with on a map. I wouldn't say the hardest, but one of the hardest. Even when you kill the eggs, it's really hard to get your army to go exactly where you want it because there's so many little turns and stuff. I've found my army splitting in the craziest directions here.
Yeah, it's one of the issues with Brood War is the pathing is just not great. I want to emphasize something too, because I've noticed like a lot of people that watch this, watch StarCraft, they sometimes think StarCraft, like the pathing is the worst thing ever, and it's actually pretty good. But there are certain units that are a little bit buggier, and on a map like this, you can definitely, right click, and yes, half your army goes around this side of the cliff, the other half goes around the other side. Love the signs, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
But basically when you have a map that has tricky pathing, you just have to be very careful about where you're clicking on what. As far as going around, there's a way to navigate a map. You just have to be careful. You can't necessarily like attack click into their main from your main and assume the army's going to go where it needs to go.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Also, like for people wondering, like, oh well, why not just play that updated pathing in StarCraft 2? Well, the pathing is something that you kind of overcome in StarCraft 1 and you get better at over time. This is such a unique map design that I think it's taking a little bit longer for people to get used to it. But I'm sure you have these moments where you see a new map and like if it is a map where pathing might be difficult, you already have some ideas about how you're gonna do things, right? Like, oh, I'm going to rally here and attack move like this. And like, it's just another skill that you get good at and are able to overcome.
Also, people are pretty protective about the way the game is coded and the way the game works because the game is so perfect. Like, do we really want to try to like, adjust that so that Dragoons are a little bit cleaner with how they move, or it's a little bit easier to move a Goliath up and down a ramp when it's fighting something? I don't think so. So these Lings are going to chase this probe away. It is the gateway expand that Best is opening up with here. The scouting probe is killed. That's really bad for Best.
Yeah, that's really fast.
You really can't afford to lose that probe this early because you have no idea what's coming. This was gassed before the third hatchery, but there is a third hatchery about to be made here. Zerg could choose to all in. I don't think that Jaedong will, but actually, maybe I should take that back. Jaedong's done that a lot, where he like kills a scout and then goes for an all in. I think he does that almost more than anybody. Maybe him and Solkey.
That's good. That is a good point, actually. Well, you want to be able to pull that trigger. It's what makes you very, 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 very dangerous. Soma actually does it a lot too. So that's like some of our biggest champions ever are like very decisive in that way. Look at this nice micro from Jaedong. Okay, finally Best actually brings up the second Zealot. I was wondering if he was going to think to do that, but maybe he thought more Lings could be on the way. And in fact, a couple more are. Speed upgrade just finished, isn't it? Wow. Yeah.
I believe so. And so that way you can't get a scouting probe out here. We don't see a den. We don't see a layer yet, but one of the two is coming.
What do you do as Best here?
Wow.
You're stuck in your base this early? What do you do?
Wait, does he have no forge, or is there a forge in his main?
I think he has a forge in his main that he started, but if he doesn't, that would be so sick.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, you need those upgrades so badly. But yeah, he did wall with the core. Well, we're waiting to see what that tech's going to be. We don't have that layer started. I don't see the den planted yet.
Yeah, there's the forge, Stargate as well. Right now, Jaedong just droning up. He actually has a fair amount of gas here. I feel like I'm confused as to what exactly Jaedong is up to.
Yeah, well, I'm so confused because I said like 3 times. I'm like, he's got to make a den, or he's got to make a layer. It's like, it has to happen. Excuse me, and it didn't happen. Sorry.
It feels like he's mining gas like a Protoss player, where it's like you'll bank up a bunch because you're going to get like robo and range at the same time or something like that. Like, it's very rare that I see something like this from Zerg, where Jaedong's like just mining gas and he's not really choosing a tech route. Although I did see threw down a Hydralisk Den at his third.
Okay, drank some water. Sorry, I'm not dying anymore over here. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it was very odd how he played it, right? Like, he just banked gas and then threw a den down later. He's got an Evo chamber. These 2 Lings have gotten inside the main here. Going to try to disrupt some mining. The 2 Zealots are hitting the bottom right, and so the drones had to be evacuated. There's a 3rd Zealot en route right now. So, there's been a little bit of disruption on both sides, but, these Zealots are not going to kill this base. This Zealot could come through here, though, and end up taking out a lot more workers.
Ooh, Jaedong with a nice surround gets one of those Zealots pretty quickly. The other one will get cleaned up as well, but this Zealot in the mineral line here has already gotten a drone, and in fact, going to get another one. He sees Hydralisk popping out as well as his Corsair goes after an Overlord. Wow, Best actually does a really good job with these Zealots, I feel like.
Yeah, he really slowed a lot down, for the Zerg there. The Zerg is, in a position where you're going to be getting, the upgrades for the Hydra is the layers done, so you could probably go for speed. This could be a play into drop.
Oh.
It could be just sort of him macroing up. I think drops are actually really strong on this map because of the way it's shaped.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we never see drops against Protoss super fast at this type of level. Like, Zealot definitely likes to go drops against Protoss like basically every game. Like, he'll go like Lurker Hydra drops. But I feel like if that is the overall plan of Jaedong, is he's just looking at the map and saying like, yeah, my late game here is drops, that would be really interesting, because we don't have any other map where we really see things like that. Not since Apocalypse was in the map pool.
Well, you know, it might be something like I want to try to set up a lurker contain, and when he's trying to come out, I'm going to do the drop then. You know, Jaedong basically did not, like, you know, I was mentioning earlier, did not go for the den, did not go for the layer, did not kind of tech normally. He basically banked up gas, and I don't know if he was looking for something to prompt him into the Hydra Rush or to prompt his layered tech, but you can just like make more hatches and make more drones and then just, you know, kind of slow play it. That is a totally acceptable way to do it.
Well, right now the Hydra's just playing the defense, trying to hit off some of these Corsairs while they continue to harass and scout a little bit. Some Zealots coming across the map. Zealot legs just now finishing. +1 is done as well, so definitely those Zealots might become a menace. But that's a lot of Hydras, so I think Jaedong is fine. It doesn't feel like he's getting ready for an attack, but he's making a lot of Hydras, which would mean that. I am a little confused as to what Jaedong's doing here, Tasteless.
Well, you know, he may be trying to hit with a lot of Hydras a little bit later on here. I have seen this style before, where you kind of fly over their base with a Corsair, and you're like, they're not doing anything, but they're getting a lot of hatches, and making a lot of drones, and it is a way to play. And you will have a lot of stuff. You will be able to do a lot of damage, you know, when it's your time to fight. And again, like I said, you know, drops can be, you know, very hard to deal with. You know, the Protoss is really trying to push out, and then as they're halfway across the map dropping inside their base, that can be really tough.
Right now, Best is mining out those eggs, not mine out the eggs, mine out the minerals at the front of the wall. I wonder when he's going to kill those eggs as well, so he has a little bit more freedom of movement. But he just went up to 9 gateways. So that's like kind of the max I ever see on 2 base. A lot of times it's just 8, but here with Best on 9 gates, do you think he's planning to try to hit an attack, or is he just going to get like enough production that he can take bases without feeling pressure?
Well, he's definitely always going to go for a push. You're always going to try to do that. I mean, there's some pushes that are more all in than others, and then he will try to take a 3rd and a 4th. You know, as that push is coming out, it's basically always going to be the +2 armor, +1 attack push coming out. The problem for, you know, the Protoss right now is there's no target. You know, a lot of times you want to try to hit them when they're on 4 bases, right? That's really when the push is the strongest. Is the Zerg is finished the 4th, they're trying to get the defenses set up, and the push is coming out and going for them. But yeah, I mean, Jaedong's just basically powering up. He's gotten another hatch, so he's now fully on 6 hatches with a 7th one over at that 4th.
All right, well, he's moving across the map with a lot of Hydralisks right now. He is down 20 supply, so definitely something he needs to watch out for. And those eggs starting to get cleared out, and Jaedong, in fact, kind of posturing outside of there. Of course, if you do clear out those eggs, you have 2 more distinct locations that you have to defend. Right, like Jaedong could attack down into your natural, or he could try to walk up and around. So I feel like Best minimum, he needs to take that position where Jaedong's Hydras were just standing.
Oh my god! Oh my god! The Scourge are gonna just miss this. Oh!
He saw it. He saw it.
Oh! Is it 1 DT? It's just 1.
Okay. Well, Jaedong not likely to take too much damage here.
Well, never mind. Overlord pops out immediately.
Yeah.
So this will get shut down. The drone drilling was perfect. And here comes that push from Protoss.
All right, he does have units in the center. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say it does seem like it's pretty hard for the Zerg to counterattack that easily to like that 3rd base. That 3rd base is pretty tucked away. And you know what, man? If you can hit the eggs here, this could be game ending here for Jaedong, because he needs these lurkers. You might have to kind of like spam burrow this. Oh my god, 2 storms will kill this. 1 more storm. Oh my god.
And the lurkers just disappear. Way too much damage going down there. Really good execution there from Best. Is he just going to win straight off that?
I think he's won.
I think we have a new
those lurkers were everything. And you can see Jaedong was kind of grimacing at that moment. You know, you really need to make sure the lurkers are somewhere safe. When you morph him out like that, I mean, you know, that would be like the Terran equivalent of like just 8 tanks get killed.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
in a PVT, it's like, oh, well, that was kind of like, the whole game was building up to me having that. That was kind of what I was going for, and now I don't have it anymore. He's going to keep pushing here, and Templars are pretty far away. There's actually none in the mix right now, but I think when you do that kind of damage, you see what else you can go for.
Oh, man. It is a lot of Hydras, but Best continuing to push through. He has that third base set up. It looks like he's getting ready to set up a fourth base as well. You can see a little bit off on the pathing there as some Zealots get stuck, but that's going to be it. GG. Best going to win the group and advance in first place. Yeah, that was... I mean, Best played fantastically. I would have liked to see what happened in that game if Jaedong hadn't gotten his eggs all stormed like that. It's too bad because the game looked a little bit weird to me as a non-Zerger Protoss main. It felt like Jaedong was playing kind of a little bit strangely, and then nothing came together. So, yeah, I'm still a bit confused about what was going on in that game.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a weirder looking game. And it was also kind of surprising, like Jaedong just has Lurker eggs. Morphing isn't quite ready for this attack to happen. You know, usually you have Lurkers a bit earlier than that, you know. But I think he might have been trying to play a little bit greedy. You know, the later you can get the Lurkers, maybe the better it is for you, right? You can get your hatcheries and get your other drones out there. The Lurkers are kind of the super expensive component that you're trying to defend with. So I don't know, maybe that was the rationale, but yeah, I mean, you can't be morphing, what was it, like 11 Lurkers over there and then lose more than half of them to two storms. We're gonna go to the interview, guys. Let's see how Best is feeling.
We're here with Group C of the ASL Season 22 round of 24. And we now have our first player from today's group advancing to the round of 16. Congratulations. Thank you. After missing the round of 16 last season, I imagine getting back here feels even more meaningful. You got through your 2 matches pretty quickly today and secured your spot. How are you feeling right now? Last season ended so quickly that I was really disappointed. I really didn't want to get knocked out early again this time. I wanted to get back to the round of 16 and show that I could still play well. So I'm glad I've at least cleared my first goal. Your first game against Paralyze did give you a bit of a scare, though. He took a very fast expansion and was able to get some early advantages. For a while, it looked like the game was starting to get uncomfortable for you. What were you thinking at that point? Honestly, I felt like there wasn't much else I could do. So even if it got stopped, I knew I had to create some kind of opportunity. I took a chance and fortunately it worked. Then, in the winners match, you faced Jaedong. You've had some painful losses to him in important matches before. And of course, Jaedong is still such a dangerous player. Did that matchup add some extra pressure? Definitely. There was a lot of pressure. Fortunately, the game started going in a good direction for me, and I think I was able to take advantage of it. You looked especially sharp against Jaedong today. You picked off Zerglings early, your Zealot pressure was very active, and your Corsair control looked excellent. I think a lot of people watching today probably came away thinking Best could make a real run this season. Did you feel like your mechanics were especially good today too? Not long ago, I practiced with Soma and played close to 40 games in a day. And as I kept playing, I realized StarCraft was just really fun again. If I get more opportunities like that, I definitely want to keep playing them. It sounds like you're really enjoying StarCraft again. That makes me even more curious to see how far you can go this season. After the disappointment of last season, are you approaching this one with a different mindset? Last season, going out in the round of 24 was really disappointing. I just want to take it one game at a time and play each game as well as I can. There are also a lot of people who came out to support you today. Please say a few words to them and to your fans. First of all, I really want to thank everyone who came out to support me today. It means a lot that so many people came here for me. Some of my teammates are also practicing hard right now for a match tomorrow, so I hope they keep working hard and do well. I'm really thankful to everyone who's always helping me. And of course, I'm always grateful to the fans who continue to support me. I want to repay that support by getting good results. I want to do well both with my team and individually this season. I'm going to try to accomplish both. Thank you. Best, we'll be looking forward to seeing what you can do this season. Thank you for the interview. Thank you. We've been talking with
자, 이렇게
Best,
오늘 첫
the
번째
first player from
16강
Group C to
진출자
advance to the
도재욱
round of
선수와 함께
16.
이야기 나눠봤습니다. 저희는
We'll take a
잠시
short break
쉬었다가 오늘의
and then
패자전과
return with today's losers
최종전으로
match and final
돌아오겠습니다.
match.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
Okay, it's elimination time. Paralyze versus Speed coming up next. I think this also should be super close and interesting. What about you, Artosis?
Yeah, this is a great match between these two. It's one that happens a lot because they're both pretty active on the ladder, and they're both a really similar level. It's interesting to me that it's going to be on Attitude. So Colorless Fate being a ban for Speed is not at all surprising. It's a very tough map for Terran versus Protoss. But Odyssey being banned by Paralyze, he wants to play the really standard map, which I kind of get when you look at the styles here. Speed is a little bit more like crazy, aggressive, creative, and Paralyze is kind of a defensive player. So, all right, Attitude. Very standard map for this losers match.
Yeah, it should be a good one. And of course, the winner of this will go up against Jadong. The loser is out of Group C, and of course, this season of the ASL. So let's get into this game, see what happens. We've got Speed here in the top right. Cross bonds on the opposite side of the map is Paralyze in the red.
All right. Little note that stylistically, like Speed generally plays a slightly more aggressive Terran versus Protoss. And Paralyze is one of these double robo type of guys. Like just lots of speed shuttles, that kind of modern play that we've seen a lot of lately.
Yeah, the double robo thing's fascinating because it's so modern. You know, for a long time, I think everybody would have basically agreed that PvT, I mean, we had kind of explored all the crazy early games and all the crazy late game techs, but the advent of a second robo is really wild. You know, basically getting lots of observers and lots of shuttles and, you know, potentially, you know, Reavers here and there and, you know, getting that speed upgrade, going for Templars, storming all over the place. It's a very hard style to play against.
Yeah. It's, if you're messy at all with how you defend it, it can be really, really tough. And especially like once Psystorm is out, if Terran is attacking too quick, I feel like that's where it wins a lot of games. But yeah, if you go like, if you're very careful as a Terran player, it can be hard for the speed shuttle guy to really get damage or to finish the game. You know, like if they never get like really great storm drops going, it's like, how do you finish Terran at that point? When Terran's up at like 3-2 and there's missile turrets everywhere, I think it becomes pretty difficult for Protoss at that point.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And of course, we'll see if he actually goes for that. But, you know, it's definitely, you know, for some of these Terrans that would like try to take a quick fourth base as an example, or even a quick third base, the mass robo or double robo style, it can really punish you. You know, these Terrans that are pretty good at kind of exploiting positional play. You know, a lot of Terran defenses in you know, like let's take for as an example, like the 3 o'clock spot on this map, if Terran decides to go there. You know, there's ways for Terran to basically turtle there, have some tanks and vultures, and even if you had a shuttle with 2 Reavers in it, you can't really get in there. But once you have like 5 shuttles, that really changes everything, right? Then
Yeah.
you can't be in a game where you're really, you know, kind of playing keep away and abusing turrets and tanks and mines and stuff like that. But before we go too deep into that, Paralyze is also going for similar to what we saw Bisu do, basically the forward gate that acts as part of the wall in here at the expansion and applies pressure with zealots. And this style of play, it forces the Terran to respond in a certain way, which simplifies the game and removes a lot of ambiguity about what's going on that side of the map.
On this particular time, it is a factory expansion from Speed, so he should be completely fine. We'll see if he goes for the 3rd depot. Yep, he just started his 3rd depot. So, you know, he's going to be able to block it completely and easily, and I think Paralyze has already noticed that and will pull the Zealot back a little bit. Oh, is he holding it? Okay. This is kind of interesting that he's holding it, because, like, if you hold it and they do a 3 Marine Vulture expand, you can actually sometimes get insane damage with this little attack, but there's a 4th Marine, and there's, well, he's already made a bunker, so Speed is, like, incredibly safe here.
Yeah, I mean, if they get the bunker up, they can throw that command center down. You can see on the Protoss' side of the map, I mean, he's still going to get his Nexus up. He's going for that Dragoon range. You know, this is kind of an unfair fight for the SCV on the low ground of the ramp, fighting that probe on the high ground. He's not going to get the scout in the main. There would not be any kind of tech up normally, but, you know, you at least would like to check, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the weirdest thing that he could have maybe seen had he got in there would have been like the fastest, you know, Twilight or Citadel ever, but that's not really, I think, a smart way to play. Paralyze is going to go for a robo here as well. And look, there's a lot of different kind of games you can have from here. It's very hard to call what kind of game both these players are going to go for. We can probably expect Paralyze to be taking a third base pretty quickly. The question is going to be how soon, because like when we saw Bisu do this, he took his third base maybe a little bit too fast. He wasn't truly ready for that 3-factory cross spawn push that Rush did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is like a really tricky and strong build that sometimes Terran players use. It would be kind of cool to see if Speed would utilize something similar after it had such great effect against Bisu. He is laying some mines in some very good places. It mines the 3 closest expansions, so that's really, really nice. I'm surprised his vultures are just doing whatever they want in here. It feels like Paralyze, like, is not paying attention or something, and suddenly 2 vultures get in. He's going to get a few probes.
Yeah, I'm in the same page as you are, Tastosis. I was kind of surprised that this wasn't sealed up. I mean, one of the first things you need to do in PvT is basically make sure that you have your entrance walled off, because one of the only things Terran can do to hurt you is to send vultures into your base. So he did lose some probes back there. That is a little bit painful. Definitely worth it for Speed to sack those 2 vultures to get those kills. Now we've got an armory started here. You can see that the mine will prevent Paralyze from planting that nexus there. I think maybe, that should block it, right? You can't build a nexus above that.
Well, you can, but it's going to be terrible.
Well, you would not want it, right? Yeah. And he's did. Oh my God, he let him in again.
Yeah, that's
what
kind
is
of
going
surprising.
on?
Although it is a little bit surprising that there's 3 speed vultures out on the map now as well. So like, I think he probably thought like, okay, you're in the tank building phase. Like, you know, Terrans oftentimes only build 2 or 3 vultures, but now Speed has gotten decent probe kills twice. This is so worth it. If you can lay a few mines out with vultures and then trade them for probes of similar value, that's a huge boon to Terran. Huge boon. Now, Paralyze isn't dead, but this is really good for Speed so far.
This is so bad right now for Paralyze. Doesn't mean the game's over, but like, you know, he's taken a beating. I wish he would just block above the gateway with a pylon or block, you know, below it, but make this where there's just one entrance, you know. The idea for Protoss is that you want to have like a Dragoon-sized hole at your natural that if things get crazy, you can plug it up immediately, you know, not having 2 separate entrances so that vultures have 2 opportunities to run by like he's got now.
That is a very good point. It's not like you need that for pathing purposes, the one on top of the gateway. I don't know why he's still got that hole there. Yeah, Paralyze even losing an observer out there, unfortunately. I don't know that he's even seen that command center being made, because this is like 2 factories into a 730 command center after killing a lot of probes. Like, Speed has played this in such, I don't know if greedy is the right word, but like the fact that like his first like 6 factory units were all vultures. He sacrificed them all, getting mines down and probe kills, and he went directly into the fastest 3rd command center that you ever see. You put all that together and it's like, well, damn, man, like this is going really well for Speed.
I really like what Paralyze is doing. He's going for 4 nexuses off of 2 gates.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and I mean, the reality is that's like super dangerous and risky, but it's what he's got to do because he's lost too many workers. And if he can hide this 4th base at 6 o'clock, that's massive. He's got, you know, a Wallen being set up over here. I guess, you know, that being scouted is entirely up to the Terran. There's no way you can prevent the Terran from figuring that out. But, you know, the fact that Speed is going for a command center of his own gives a little bit of a runway here for Paralyze to try to get as many probes out as humanly possible and get as many nexuses up as he possibly can, and then fill this up with gateways later. But, you know, the factory explosion's already happening. I think I saw 6 factories over there. Protoss is still on 2 gateways. That's one of them that we saw right over there. He's getting the Reaver tech.
Yeah.
But Terran could have a really potent push coming out here pretty soon.
Well, this, yeah, he should. He should. If you're taking your third base that quickly, you have to push out at like 150 supply. There's not really another great option. You don't want to just keep taking bases. That eventually turns bad for Terran, and it actually turns bad right around base 4. So I think what we're going to see here is Speed jump up to 8 or 9 factories, get about 150 supply, and start pushing. And Paralyze, like, he should be up in the probe count that he wants. Get his Zealot legs, get his Psystorm, get his shuttle speed. And I feel like we're just going to have a really nice macro TVP. Like, I put Speed a little bit ahead, but this is very playable for Paralyze, and I think he knows how to play it, too.
The Vultures are going to come in here. Again, he might be able to get some probe hits. Good control so far. And going to kill off some of those while they're trying to leave here. The question now I want to see answered is there going to be a 4th command center made here? Or is Speed going to try to lead this up into a push? I mean, part of me thinks that if you've done the damage that, you know, he did earlier, wouldn't you want to do a 3-base push?
Yes.
Like, I don't see why you'd want to be like dragging the game out and trying to grow. I think he, you know, those little victories he got tactically to make the probe count a little bit leaner here for Paralyze is a great layup to a push that could end the game later.
I think that's exactly it. Like, he should be trying to hit an 8 or 9 factory push. Like, I think that's by far the best move available to Speed. Now, he got his comsat really, really late this game, so he's not 100% sure what's going on. But I know he's played Paralyze enough times to know that Paralyze doesn't goof. Like, he goes Psystorm every game.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's not like carriers are going to be building, but you do need to check. One thing that's really weird, Paralyze really needs to add his damn gates. Like, what is going on here? Add your gateways. This feels so late.
Yeah, that's what makes me worried for him, is that, you know, you need to start to get maybe up to like 12 gateways or something like that if you're going to be able to take fights over here. He's just now throwing these down. Also doesn't feel like he has actually a lot of room to make gateways. This happens to Protoss sometimes where they end up with, you know, a position where, you know, all the little charging points for the pylon are kind of covered by other buildings. And he's going to go up to that 5th base. So, I mean, dude, Paralyze is going for it. Now, we do see Speed ready to move out.
Yeah.
This is, I actually think it would have been smarter for Paralyze to maybe max out on 4 bases than try to take a 5th here. He did not get the confirm on a 4th base, and he didn't get that confirmed because it never came. So, I mean, he's got a Nexus making while this push is going to be coming at him. I'm very interested to see if he can actually live through this.
Well, you know, Speed's doing it just right. He literally moved out exactly at 150 supply. Like, that's a power spike for mech. So moving out right now, this gives him such a great opportunity. We haven't seen a single Psystorm yet, although we did just see some High Templars going in the shuttle. You've got to be careful with this army. If you lose this army without it doing well, you lose the game. But this is a good push timing. Like, this is for sure a good push timing. He needs to keep rallying out. He needs to keep laying mines, scanning where this army is, and making sure he takes this first engagement well. That's the most important thing.
And Speed's been pretty patient. He did try to get a 4th base up when this was when this push was coming out, but his Zealot and Reaver with a shuttle did prevent it. And now it's all about buying time. I don't think we saw a second robo made here, which is fine. You don't have to do the double robo. I think that's very circumstantial.
Yeah.
But the idea is the same in that you're basically storming, you're using Reavers. If you can get a couple good storms off, especially when the army's clumped like this, it's very good for you. And so he's going to get one off here now, right on top of the tank. He's going to land a Reaver. And if you can get those Zealots to where those tanks are, it's going to be very handy. Another Psystorm comes down, and Paralyze is going to stop and regroup. You basically have to pull back when the Zealots all disappear. The Dragoons are never going to be able to get through Vulture tank.
It was a great pullback, truly. The one thing that I'm just worried about, Tastosis, is he still doesn't have enough gateways. What is going on with the gateway count? Like, I feel like he must be flustered or something, because, like, he really should have a few more gates in there macroing up for him. Like, he's got, look at his bank. He's can't get under 1,000 in each. Like, how does a 5th Nexus help you here if you can't spend your money?
And this Nexus is going to go down. And I wonder if Paralyze should have tried to counterattack earlier. It seems like he's not really sure what he needs to do this game. Speed has a position that it's kind of extraordinary. I feel like I've never really seen this. Look at this. He's got this like line of tanks that goes all the way down to the 4th base at 6 o'clock, up through the middle. And he's even got stuff covering kind of over to his 3rd base. So there's no easy place to go. Now the drops over here are going to be great because this is exactly how you're going to take out a position like this.
Oh, 23 health on the Nexus and it lives. That's crazy. I don't know if he's going to be able to snipe that or not. I would really be trying to get another tank up there. But Paralyze does have that 5th Nexus, which I guess is a functioning 4th Nexus now. But, you know, I think he's already lost so much of his position that this is just a very tough game for Paralyze to win.
Yeah, Paralyze is... He can't get down there and defend that without basically going through a bottleneck that's going to get him punished anyways. And I think this is kind of the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
You know, all these workers are going to go down. They're going to just, you know, mindlessly walk through into siege tank fire. Paralyze is going to come down here and hit, but I think the damage has already been done. I think you can live with losing these tanks, knowing that you killed the 2 Nexuses, right?
There's 2 things I want to say about that, because like I definitely agree, like definitely Speed is way winning this game and should be able to take it, but Speed's 4th just landed and started mining. And Paralyze just generally, I cast so many of his ladder games, he generally, even in these terrible positions, puts out like a high quality game still. Like he generally stays calm. It's not like he just starts throwing units away. He tries to build back. But I don't think that'll make a difference here. I hope it can somehow, but it's maxed out against 140 right now, so it's definitely looking rough for poor Paralyze.
Whenever I see this many vultures, my mouth is watering for a Psystorm to hit it. You know, it's so satisfying. Well, you know, the problem now is that, you know, the vulture count is so high. There's so many tanks, and with just Dragoon Zealot, you're probably not going to have enough to cut it. You know, this is just such a meaty wall of Terran stuff pushing through here. And okay, there it is, GG.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when they get siege tanks outside your natural, that's when they can send these little squads of units to different locations to basically take out every other base you have, and there's no way to get army over there.
Tell you what, Speed did everything in the world that game. He did 2 sets of big vulture harassment at the very beginning with no siege tanks back home, and he made a 3rd command center at like 7 minutes off of 2 factories. Like, that's everything a Terran can dream of. And Paralyze, he almost started to come back. The 5th Nexus, I think, was a big mistake. The gateways were added a little bit slow. Everything else, though, I thought he did pretty good. Like, I think he still put out a reasonably strong game. It's just not quite strong enough here.
Yeah, so this means Speed wins. He's going to be going up against Jaedong. We're going to get that rematch. We'll be going to that after the short break.
I'm not your fool, not your friend. You had your chance, so don't pretend. You change your tone when the room gets quiet. Turn your guilt into a full-blown riot. You blame the world for the things you do, but numbers got the truth, don't you ever play. No more second chances, cheap romances. No more giving peace away to be. Do you love the sound of when you make an excuse? Dress them up like they're all absolute. You blame the world for the things you do, but the mirror's got a hold over you. Broke my trust, now I'm going to break you. So don't you ever play.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
스타의 역사를 이어나가는 자부심. 저그 프로토스 테란 가장 많은 14명. 타티오가요 가장 많이 올라갔어요.
그 정서를 깨버렸습니다. 노력을 통해서.
15년 만에 다시 한번 대결을 펼치게 됩니다. 찍어 누르는 그 힘을 보여주는 합니까 진짜 세계 첫 대급 경기. 말도 안 되는 승부 명장면이 계속 대박의 결승전.
ASL Season22.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're ready to go to Jaedong versus Speed, the rematch. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be on Octagon once again. I think that's going to be the final match. Everything in this round is it's so normal compared to those other two maps. All right, Jaedong versus Speed. I think Jaedong already showed. Yeah, he's definitely a bit better than Speed, but it's a best of one. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, you know, I'm curious if Speed can make a couple of adjustments and maybe look a lot better here. These guys, I think, are very evenly matched. I think he made some bad calls and maybe fed a little bit too hard, pushing out and maybe not covering that bottom left base. But anyways, I mean, our game's loaded up. Let's get into this, guys. Okay, both players at the top. Jaedong on the right side, Speed on the left. Guys, one more final plug here for the Patreon. If you're in a position to support us, it can be a little bit. We are happy for it to be a lot as well. Whatever you think you can give, consider joining our Patreon. This is how we do, how we support StarCraft 1. You know, that's the ecosystem that we're in now for esports with StarCraft 1. It's all about crowdfunding. You guys have been incredible. If you want to join our Patreon army, feel free to sign up. It's patreon.com/ASL English.
Thank you, everyone, very, very much. And definitely do check that out. Of course, we do have the Tastosis secret podcast. And today's episode was especially funny.
Yes, it was mostly me yelling at Artosis, but you get access to that. That's a little podcast we do as we're getting ready before each of these shows here.
Yeah.
Still a packed studio here tonight. A lot of fans eager to see if Jadong can advance. Jadong, I think, you know, outside of maybe Flash, I mean, this guy has by far the most fans.
Oh, yes.
At the studio, right?
Yes.
Or he maybe even more than Flash, I feel like at times. I know that might sound weird. I know Flash is generally the best and the most famous player in the game, but Jadong has some hardcore fans out there.
Well, Jadong is 1,000,000,000% more marketable than Flash. But
yeah,
Flash is technically better and has won more tournaments. So yeah, it's I'm not sure which one has more fans in the Korean scene.
Jadong's got that kind of cool X factor, you know. There's something almost kind of like an actor, like a movie star. There's some kind of element to that there in the way he talks and everything. So I think, you know, he gets a lot of people.
The kids call it he has Riz.
He's got the Riz, man. He's risen during those interviews.
Quite Rizful.
Yes. So in this game, it's going to be fast tech for Terran. They're going for an expand over here. The Overlord's going to scout the wall in over here at the entrance right away. And seeing that there's no command center over there, you're pretty safe on betting that there's going to be, you know, a factory thrown down here pretty quickly and that tech coming up.
Yeah, this is all the spawns on Octagon have a Zergling tight main base wall, which is kind of nice. Just having the stability of like the walls lining up on maps is really, really nice for Terran. It's super annoying when you go in and you're like, oh, if I get one of these two positions, it'll be this build, and this one is a different build, and the fourth one is even a different build because all of them have different sim cities. You know, that's kind of annoying. But Octagon, they really fixed that on, which is nice. And, you know, Speed is just doing a walled factory. I think he's just going to expand afterwards. I'd be pretty shocked if he did anything else. And we'll see where he goes from there. If it's going to be like a Vulture Valkyrie type build, there are some science vessel rushes. Of course, mech is a possibility. Although I feel like these are the types of builds that Jadong generally does pretty well against.
Yeah, I don't think it would be two-port Wraith, by the way.
No.
And maybe, you know, we talked about this when Leda died out in the last season, but like I really do feel like that style needs to go away. It's just we got to explore it so heavily.
Yeah.
And it is kind of hard to play against, and you really have to be very practiced at it. But I think that, you know, Leda being so front and center in the last season of ASL, and really letting that all the ideas of that build order play out, I think we got to see it basically get solved.
It felt that way for sure. Yeah, I know he's still doing it some, and we'll see, especially in the next round if he continues, but it did really feel like it was completely solved by Soma. It felt like the stamped end to a build order.
Yeah.
Never seen quite domination of it like that.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We don't oftentimes get to take very obscure play styles and really do deep dives on them. Mm-hmm. You know, most players, they have a variance of play, right? So, you know, they could be doing that kind of cheesy style, or they could be going for their macro style, but latest play style is so defined and so specific. By the way, this Overlord is going to just get through here.
That's crazy. This is so well planned by Speed. Like, he hid the command center in the middle of his base, and Jadong literally checked to see if it was inside and missed it because he didn't want to go so far he lost the Overlord. So, like, if that command center had been there, Jadong knows exactly what's going on. Right now, Jadong thinks this is some sort of all-in. Okay? There might even be a sunken making in his main. I don't know. Like, there could be anything going on right now for Jadong in his head.
Basically, what he scouted that very, very edge at the top of that top left entrance. And the idea is like most players, like 90% of players would just put the command center there because it's a shorter flight distance. And Speed was basically prepared for that. So he was able to get that over there. Now, these are the 3 vultures coming in here. And they're well positioned. And this is going to be very hard to fight. The drones can't mine. This is all very, very bad for Jaedong right now.
Yeah, this is some good, solid damage. And it looks like he wants to get out. Oh my god, Jaedong's actually so smart. That was kind of crazy. Like, he actually put his lings back, recognizing that the vultures were going to try to escape. So he blocked them, because probably 2 of them would have gotten out. But he blocks them with his lings there. Really, really well done. But Speed did get some damage. I actually like Speed's position pretty well. Like, as long as he's got his turrets up when the mutas get here, which it looks like he will, I would be pretty darn happy to have this position in a Terran vs. Zerg. It looks good for Speed.
Yeah, this looks really good. The mutas are now going to come out. We got to see what kind of damage they can get off here. There is a Scourge out here as well. The 2 vultures are going to loop around here. Is the entrance blocked? I don't think that ramp is covered.
Yeah, if he tries to
no,
run
I think
in,
there are. There
yeah.
is a Zergling there.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's going to do if there's like 2 vultures. They can moving shot that and go right through it like it wasn't even there.
Well, if one misses a shot, the Sunken gets an extra hit. So, yeah. But Jaedong's, he's trying to defend. Speed is playing this really well at the moment. The fact that he's, continuing to move the vultures around and kind of keep the Mutalisks back while he builds up some Valkyries is really, really good. We don't know yet if he's going to follow into Bio or Mech. That remains to be seen here. If we could jump back and like take a look at what else is being done, like, is he getting an upgrade in the eBay? No. Is that a factory he just started? I think it was. I think we might be seeing a Mech follow-up here by Speed.
Interesting. Yeah, I would not be shocked if it was a factory follow-up. We've got Jaedong putting the hatchery down here in the very bottom right. It is a factory, by the way.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that, a Valkyrie combo here. We want to watch those Valkyries very carefully here. We have a lot of games where Terrans lose them outright.
Yes.
But, if you can keep them alive and keep a couple out there, it gets really hard for Zerg to do anything skywise.
Yeah, but Jaedong waited till he had a lot of mutas, so the turrets didn't matter, and now he's just chasing back. It's kind of like when you see Ogre Zerg Gamer. He's like, yeah, I'll just fly on top of your turrets. And yeah, the Valkyries are having a really hard time with that, but one lives. He wants to get hits on these mutas, but the mutas are dealing big damage. In the meantime, vultures did run by the base of Jaedong there. And very nice Valkyrie
micro. He just goes for a dive.
Holy crap.
Okay. Oof. It seems like he attacked one and then accidentally attacked the other, so the damage got distributed.
Yeah,
the mutas are actually pretty low because of that. Now, they're still high enough in HP. I think they can continue to press for more damage over here. It's going to force the command center to lift. Back at home for the Zerg, you can't really mine right now because these vultures are basically blocking that position off. So it's getting pretty messy on both sides.
This is really tricky to hit the micro right here. Oh, and
he's going to just try to right-click it down. Oh my God, that was crazy. I did not expect that. You basically never use Scourge on buildings. That's like one of the worst moves you can do in the game. But Jaedong realized like this is so low, and he realized he's not going to be able to hit the Valkyrie, and if the command center can get any further back into the main, it can be repaired. So he just identified, actually, I can snowball the damage down by hitting with his Scourge, and he did it. And this is crazy. I mean, that's a huge reset right now for Speed.
That is generally a Terran loss from there, but the mutas are so low. I could see Speed maybe being brave and coming across the map with his anti-air. Like, the thing is, if Scourge get you, you're going to lose the game, but you're losing right now, so you might need to take some sort of risk like that, right? Like, maybe he can gun down Scourge before they see him. And the thing is, if you get rid of all the air units, even just for a moment, you'll be able to kill basically every Overlord.
Okay, he's got another Vulture in here, man. I mean, Jaedong's lost so many drones. It's wild. Good drone drill actually catches that, but the Vulture manages to wiggle free. And that means it's going to be more kills on those. It's finally picked off.
Oh my God, that's so many drone... 8 drone kills on that thing.
Yeah.
God. Vultures are good. I do have to admit, Tastosis, vultures are a good unit.
Yes, they are, Artosis. I mean, it's crazy what they can do.
Yeah.
The question I'm asking myself is, can Jaedong come in here and force this thing to lift off again? Right now, his mutas are running defense.
Yeah.
But, you know, if he can get into a position where he can get Lurker Hydra or Muta, the combination of that over there at the natural expansion, he could force that CC to lift off again.
You know, Speed has to be kicking himself that he lost that command center. It slowed his game down so much, but I feel like he's partially recovered with the amount of drones he got. Definitely, I would put Jaedong as a bit ahead here, but like Speed actually has a game to play, which is more than what I thought was going to occur. Now these vultures, if these vultures get in, this is going to be a real problem. Okay, this is going to be a real problem. Okay, drags the mine to kill one of them, but like, Jaedong doesn't even have burrow. Sometimes people get burrow against this nowadays, so that they can burrow when this happens.
I think burrow is the way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can buy you so much more time. The Terrans, you know, especially in a game like this, you know, they don't even have scan at the moment. And then, you know, what happens is you're just bleeding off vultures running around the map. I guess he's just going to go for speed hydras.
Okay.
And I guess that makes sense because it's mech. You know, sometimes I see hydras in a TVZ and I think they have to become lurkers. But of course, this is really the composition you get versus mech, right? Is you buff up your hydras and you go mass muta hydra here and try to overpower the Terran that way.
Yeah, I wonder if Jaedong is going to try to mix in, or not mix in, but like start making queens. You know, generally queens are like real endgame against mech. It depends, of course, how the game opened up, and this has been such a crazy game. I don't know that he can just go queens as of yet. Another vulture drop comes in. Actually gets some mine hits on those eggs, but he's killed so many drones this game. It's actually really impressive. And part of it is he got very fast +1 vulture attack. So they 2-shot drones now instead of 3. It makes a huge difference.
Okay, so this, you know, the 4th base coming down now. Zerg's looking pretty scary. Remember that, you know, if Terran had not lost that command center and, you know, ideally not even been forced to lift off, this would be a much more potent Terran mech comp, right? This is all getting started up a lot later here because he faced off against so much abuse, you know, from those mutas coming in there. At the same time, though, the counterattacking from Speed and the vultures killing so many drones, so many that I basically lost count. I'm very interested in seeing, you know, who's actually going to be stronger when it comes time to fight. Because right now, for me, I can't quite tell. It seems like it's somewhat even.
Well, if Speed has position, right? Like if he's sieged and everything, he's good to go. But I don't think he can really do any pushes as of yet. His supply is technically a little bit higher, but it doesn't feel like a game where he's ready to do any sort of push. Like he's still just rotating vultures, sacrificing them for drones over and over and over. And generally, like, the fastest you can really do a mech push against Hydra is, like, on 3 base, generally, right? Kind of similar to the game we just saw against Paralyze. You can actually play mech similarly against Zerg if they're going Hydras, right? Where you just, like, you're like, okay, I have, like, 2 or 3 groups of vultures and a group of tanks. Let's go.
Another vulture is going to get chased away over here. When Zerg gets that gas done at both the bottom right and the center right, that's going to be a 4-gas Zerg. And that's really where the Zerg can start to tech up to the next phase here.
Yeah, he could definitely afford at that point to go into Queens while keeping up his production on everything else as well. And I know that Jaedong actually likes Queens against mech. That's like definitely something he does regularly. Some players don't, right? Some players just go like drops and like stuff like that. But I see a lot of games where Jaedong does end up going Queens.
Yeah, I think Queens are great. You know, the idea is you get the Broodling, spawn Broodling upgrade, and then you just try to find tanks and pick them off. Yeah. I mean, you can take out other stuff like Goliaths, but if you just kill a couple of the tanks, over time, the Terran's army is going to be completely useless.
Oh, that was a really terrible trade.
Almost everything.
Why would he do that? That was so
I don't
weird.
know. That was strange.
Like, if he ran up to snipe the Valkyries, I would understand. Because then it's like, okay, maybe he's going to do a switch back into mutas. But Speed is doing this just right, where he's going like pure Goliath tank. This is going to hit a very, very strong timing push. And I feel like the only way to really play against this... Oh my god, he is going mutas. Oh my god, I did not expect this. So Jaedong, like, there's two different ways he can do this. He can do this with a counterattack where he flies in and kills all the armories. Or he can just try to get enough mutas that he kills all the Goliaths.
Yeah, it's a funny thing because you'll see these, mass mutas being made versus mass Goliaths, and it almost like doesn't make sense because you think Goliaths are kind of the anti-air unit. One of you guys is wrong, right? But occasionally, when that Valkyrie count gets low enough, you can overpower them with mutas, and that's exactly what he's going to try to go for.
Oh my god, that is a lot of Mutalisks right there, but the Valkyries could be a serious problem. He brings up some Scourge to try to help out, and the Mutas are taking out all the Goliaths in the south pretty quickly. Scourge going after those Valks. Is he actually going to connect it? I don't know that he is. That was some great flying there, and the Mutas are getting absolutely destroyed now.
Oh my god, it didn't work. That was such an investment that failed.
That's crazy.
You don't have a lot of opportunities after that. Like the whole game's supposed to kind of build up, from the Zerg's perspective to the moment where they have a chance to swing the whole game in their favor and win. And now Speed is going to pull the trigger. Artosis, I think Jaedong's going to die. I think this is going to continue to be the Bizarro World ASL where it's like all the best players are losing.
Yeah, it might end up being such. There's enough tanks here that he should be able to plaster all of these Hydras. The Mutas try to dive on the tanks. Like, I like some of the ideas that Jaedong has had here, and he's definitely played decisively, which we want to see. But, well, hold on. Only 2 tanks left? Wait a second. Is Jaedong actually going to be able to break this?
Well, he needs more tanks. I mean, Goliaths are just not good at fighting anything on the ground, really. I mean, they can they can hang, so to speak, but like, you need tanks. Tanks in siege mode are what killed this off.
Yeah.
From now, I almost wonder if you could go back into mass Mutalisks again.
I think you actually could.
Right? Because, if it's just, 1 or 2 tanks, the Mutas just target down the tank. That disappears immediately. And then Goliaths, they always lose when they have to fight air and ground at the same time. It's always bad for them.
Yeah. You have to have such an overwhelming amount. It's kind of like mass goons against Zerg. It's like, well, yeah, I guess it can work sometimes, but like the numbers have to be just right. And I mean, that's very rare to see happen here. But I think the gas for Speed is like really heavily taxed at this point. The Muta switch could be good this time for sure, especially with that 5th gas. Like, he's taking the natural at bottom right? So that's basically unlimited gas for Jaedong at that point. This is a crazy game, by the way. The fact that Jaedong killed a command center and then we were pretty sure he lost, and then he kills the army anyways, it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I'm a little bit stunned that the follow-up attack after the Mutas were killed off did so poorly.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could have positioned tanks a little bit better or what, but I think he kind of thought all he needs to do now is just kind of rush in and get the kill, and it totally backfired. And when you see all the tanks get reset, it is so painful.
Yeah.
For the Terran, because you only have so many machine shops attached to these factories. There's only so many tanks that can come out at a given time, and when you lose that initial bulk that you were accumulating for the whole game, it makes it much harder after that.
I got a note, by the way, that there's no scans, 0 scans, 0 detection, right? I don't think that Jaedong is even thinking about going lurkers, but something like that would be insane here with no detection. Jaedong has so many bases that I think there's no time for anything. Speed is simply going to have to push again. I don't feel like there's any choice except one more push. And this push, he's got a lot more tanks this time. There's potential with this push. Like, I think Jaedong definitely is ahead now, but if these Hydras get like really erased by these tanks super fast, like this can still go to Speed.
Yeah, he's going to move out now. Jaedong wants to wait as long as possible, and when he can, come in for a huge surround and basically hit him from every single side.
Yeah, he's really trying to get the good surface area here as well. He has a ton of Hydras that didn't engage. Oh, okay, he's hitting them, fighting the Goliaths while the siege mode is happening, and then backing up. And he's got these 2 groups up at the top ready to flank, or that might even be 3 groups coming down. So now the Goliath's fighting against high ground. Here come the Hydras for that flank as well. Does Jaedong actually have enough, or is Speed going to crush everything with his siege tanks?
It's like he's not quite moving in unison.
Yeah.
One flank of Hydras gets wiped, and right as the last one dies, another flank comes in from a different angle, and you can see all the siege tank turrets then turn to that and obliterate that. What a back and forth game this has been. It's like, it looks like Jaedong's dead, then it looks like he's going to win the game, and then here we are in this position where Speed is continuing to push in. Once again, in the same idea, you know, he's fighting one side at a time, where all of these are supposed to be hitting from different sides and drawing fire from different areas. Now the Hydras are getting stuck in the middle and getting wiped. And it's all, you know, it's funny, you mentioned this earlier, and now I can't stop thinking about it, Tastosis, but like, yeah, one lurker stops this. He has no vessel, he has no scan.
Yeah, and he's going back into Mutalisks now, where like he just hasn't been able to hit these flanks. I feel like if he had hit one of those last 2 flanks, he might have cleared the whole army, or it would have been close at least. But Jaedong has a ton of gas. Well, not anymore because he's buying all these Mutas, but he's buying a huge amount of Mutalisks. And there might not be enough Goliaths with the current army over here. And in fact, Speed turns around. He doesn't want to lose every tank again. Look at the amount of Mutas Jaedong has.
He never took out that hatchery in the push. He went all the way down there and didn't get that much done. More vultures are going to be doing damage to these drones over here. A lot of the tanks are going to be wiped out from these mutas that are basically able to chase them down. And I mean, I see like 2 Goliaths, Tastosis. I mean, these tanks are going to get wasted.
Yeah, he really needs a lot more Goliaths popping out of all of his factories right away. So many tanks are getting picked off. The mine's going to help against these Hydras a little bit, but that is not enough Goliaths to deal with those mutas. I think Jaedong has done it, Tastosis. I think he's brought this game back from the brink like 3 times.
It's crazy, man. He is, yeah, I think he's going to win now. I mean, the mutas can basically start to kill off all these workers. This expansion at the center left, 9 o'clock position, you know, can't be defended. All Jaedong has to do is send something that attacks over there, and it's going to fall. Now we're over at the natural here, and there's just so many tanks. There's nothing that Speed can do. And Jaedong, I think we're going to see him win this in about I was going to say about a minute. Should have said a second. GG.
Wow.
He did it. Jaedong is moving on. And we're going to get people that we're kind of used to seeing advance in the round of 24 actually doing that here with that big Jaedong win.
Yeah, but that was a very, very close game. This was a great group, honestly. Like, even the Paralyze Best PvP, I thought that was a great game. Yeah, all the Jaedong games were good. This was just a fantastic group. And I am really happy that Jaedong and Best both made it through, because we do need some of our big names still showing up and winning.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I do want, you know, some. Look, I'm always happy when new players advance, but I'm also like, we should have some of the superstars there. I feel bad for Speed. I think that was a weird game for him. I don't know about you, Tastosis. It was a weird game to cast for me.
Yeah.
It felt like one guy was 100% going to take it, and then 30 seconds later, it flipped over to the other side, which that's not really how StarCraft works, but that was a very unique game that we saw back there.
Definitely a very interesting back and forth, but well done by Jaedong. Time for his winner's interview.
네, ASL 시즌 22 24강 C조 경기 모두 함께 하셨습니다. 힘든 경기를
That wraps up the Group C matches in the round of 24. After fighting through some very difficult games, Jaedong has secured the second spot in the round of 16. Congratulations. Thank you. After the final game ended, you stayed in your seat for quite a while. It looked like you were taking a moment to collect yourself and think back over what had just happened. These definitely weren't easy games, but you managed to beat Speed twice and reach the round of 16 for the 5th season in a row. How are you feeling right now? Honestly, it was really hard. I felt like I should have advanced through the winner's match. But once I ended up in the final match, I started thinking that I might actually get eliminated today. Fortunately, I managed to pull myself together at the end and win. So right now, I'm just really happy.
상황이 좀 좋게 흘러가는
In your
듯
first game
했지만,
against Speed,
이영웅
things seemed to be
선수의
going well early
벌처,
after you dealt with his
발키리
Valkyries.
견제가 끝도 없이 좀
But then his
들어오면서
vulture
난전을
harassment just kept
유도하는
coming.
탓에
He kept finding
이재동
ways to
선수
create
입장에서는
problems and turn the
조금
game around.
경기하면서도
And he
예민해질
actually
수밖에
almost
없는
made a
상황들이
comeback
좀
in that game.
있었잖아요. 그땐 좀
There were a
어떻게
lot of
마음을
moments where it would have been
다스렸나요?
easy to get frustrated.
계속 그냥
How did you manage your emotions during that game?
침착하게 하려고 했는데 이게
I was just trying as hard as I could to stay calm.
하면서도
But there was so much going on that I barely had time to
짜증도
think.
많이 나고 했는데
Honestly, I got pretty frustrated while I was
그래도,
playing. I kept reminding myself to calm down and control my mindset.
스스로 좀 마인드
I'm just
컨트롤을
glad I was
했는데,
able to hold on without letting him completely turn the game around.
다행인 것 같습니다.
최종전에서 이영웅 선수를 다시 만났는데 역시 벌처가 좀 까다롭게
Then you
하는
met Speed again in the final match.
이어졌습니다.
And once again,
이재동
his
선수가
vultures
침착하게
created some
경기를
very
이어가는
uncomfortable
도중에
situations.
뮤탈 두 부대로 좀
But you stayed
상대의
composed.
병력을 좀 탱크를
At one
소모시키고
point, you used
어떤
2
판단이
groups of
좀 유효했던 것
mutilisks
같고요.
to trade into his
그
army and take out some of his tanks,
이재동
which seemed
선수가
very effective.
양방향에서 좀 싸먹으려는
Later,
판단이
during the fight in the center,
생각대로
you
되지는
tried to
않았던
surround his
것
army from both
같거든요.
sides,
그때의 좀 판단은
but it didn't
어땠나요?
quite develop the way you wanted.
사실
What were you
그
thinking during that
뒤에
sequence?
히드라는 어차피 영뮤탈로 게임을 끝낼 거라고
I was already thinking
생각을 하고
ahead to
있어서
finishing the game with mutilisks,
밀리는 거는
so I knew there were
당연히
going to be
밀리는
moments where I
거였는데
had to give some ground.
생각보다 벌처를
What bothered me
그 전에
more
너무
was the
잘
damage his
써서
vultures had done earlier.
드론을 많이
He used them
잡혀서
much better than I
그게 좀
expected and
아쉬운 것
killed
같아요.
quite a few of my drones.
가스를 남겨두면서
That was probably the part I regretted the most.
센터 싸움이었군요. 이재동 선수가
So even
끝까지
during that center
집중력을
fight,
잃지 않고
you were
쉽지
saving
않은
gas and already
경기였습니다만
thinking ahead to the
본인의
mutalisk
승리로 좀
follow-up.
끌어갔던 오늘의
It really
모습이 좀
was a battle of
인상적이었습니다.
decisions all the way to the
늘
end.
24강을 1위로 좀
But today
진출하는
wasn't
모습을
easy.
많이 봤던
Yet you
이재동
never
선수이기
lost your
때문에
concentration and
심리적으로도 좀
eventually
마음을
found a way to win.
다스리기가 좀 쉽지는
So
않았던
having
것
to go through a
같은데
day like
오히려
this
좀
probably
심리적으로
wasn't
많은
easy
도움이 되지
mentally.
않을까도 싶거든요.
Could an
어떻게
experience
생각하세요?
like this actually help you once you reach the round of 16?
기대가 많이 되고요.
네.
I'm really looking forward to the round of 16. And now that I've seen some of the players who have advanced, I'm starting to feel more confident too. I kept thinking that if I could just get through today and reach the round of 16, I'd have a real chance from there. So I'll use the time I have left to prepare well and try to play much better in the next round. The fans really gave you everything they had today, and there were also fellow players who stayed with you and cheered until the very end. Please say a few words to everyone who supported you. First of all, today was incredibly difficult, so I really want to thank all the fans and viewers who kept cheering for me. I also want to thank Minnie and Mong for helping me practice. And now that I'm in the round of 16, I want to use the remaining time well and prepare as hard as I can. This season, I want to go further than I did last time. Thank you. Jaedong, congratulations once again on advancing to the round of 16. Thank you. We've been talking with Jaedong, the second player from Group C to advance to the round of 16. Now let's take another look at today's results.
Okay, guys. Well, that does it for Group C. What a great week of games, Tastosis.
Yeah. Very interesting first half to the round of 24 has now concluded. And we had one group turn out exactly how we thought, with Bess and Jaedong going through. So, I mean, they're two of my favorite players for sure. I think most people would agree with that. So very good to see that happen. And yeah, that round of 16 becoming very interesting.
Yeah, so this is what we've got so far. We have a lot of Zergs and a lot of Terrans next week, but we'll see if we have any Protoss survivors. I think it's only Mini as a Protoss in the 3 days
I think you're
that
right,
we have.
actually.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
But, you know, right now it's that golden ratio again. 3 Zergs, 4 Terrans, 3 Protosses. Here, that these are some funny looking groups.
Yeah.
3 Zergs and a Terran, 3 Terrans and a Zerg, 3 Zergs and a Protoss. There you go.
There's a lot of Zergs, man. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
I do think Mini will get out of that group personally, but that is a ridiculously tough group. That is such a group of death as well. I'm excited for all 3 of these, though. I think these are all really just a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how Sulky performs in Group E. I think he should be getting out of there pretty easily.
Yeah.
But I want to see, you know, Sulky is still one of the greatest players playing the game right now. I mean, this could definitely be a season he could take. Although weirdly, you know, he does best when he can avoid ZVZs. He seems to be unstoppable at ZVP and ZVT.
Well, back to the hoodie screen.
Get your hoodies, guys. Good. It's time for the hoodie slide. My favorite slide of the show so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tastosis. Guys, if you would, consider signing up for the Patreon. We'd love to get your support. It's been so good to be back here doing ASL. I'm so excited for this season.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
And make sure you're checking the Patreon for the updates and everything. I try to post stuff there as quickly as possible, including the Tastosis Secret Podcast. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty close to it. I guess I'll just throw us on camera so we can close this out.
Yeah, we can close it out.
All right. We don't need to stare at that
longer.
any longer. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.